There we go. There we go. I was like messing with my mic earlier, so I kept on like unplugging it and replugging it. So like I had to like mute it so that way OBS like wasn't going crazy with like the wave bar and then I forgot to unmute it. Otherwise it would have been like a lot of static and I'm gonna Anyway, this is probably the earliest stream I've had in a while, which is actually kind of sad. This is arguably like one of the earliest streams ever, which I want to get better. Be better, me. Be better. Be better. We are almost to the Halloween stream. That's gonna be the 31st. I will wear a heart monitor for the 31st stream, so we'll see how that goes. My Steam window. Alright, so what's going on here? I guess I'm technically halfway through the game, because I have 4 badges. Yeah, I guess I'm like about halfway through. I literally like don't remember the story somehow. So I just like beat like the water grass guy. He was like water and grass like at the same time or something. Yeah, he was like a dual type trainer. Was there really no story in this area? Oh, yeah! I remember now, our mom. We met the mom character. Oh, yeah, and, like, that was the plot twist. Because, like, they always alluded that, like, the mom, quote-unquote, like, worked in this area. Because I'm pretty sure, like, your dad kind of, like, made it seem like your mom, like, worked in this area. But your mom actually doesn't. Your mom is actually a patient here. That was the plot twist. That was the plot twist. Am I still allowed to visit the mom? Yep. Oh, wow, just dot. Wow, that's actually some pretty good sprite work, because, like, if I look at this sprite, it's, like, her eyes compared to, like, the main character's eyes. I can actually see, like, bags. I can totally see, like, bags underneath her eyes. Which I think is actually pretty cool. I always have a... I always say that, like, good sprite work is pretty nice to find these days. Because I think a lot of indie devs now, they're going into, like, 3D. So, because they want to, like, show off, like, how good they are or whatever. But good sprite work is still very much appreciated. I remember watching, like, I think 10 YouTube videos on, like, how to do, like, good sprite work and shit. Yeah, I watched, like, 10 or so videos on that. And, it's, like, there's a really good way to do, like, to do more with less or something. And even if you go with, like, 8-bit or, like, 16-bit sprites, there are, like, a lot of tricks you can do with, like, the coloring to make the sprite seem like it has more detail or something like that. I do feel like sprite work is, like, definitely, like, a dying art, though. Just because, like, I do think 3D is actually easier than sprite work. Like, the barrier for entry is higher, but then, like, once you have your 3D model, then you can, like, manipulate that 3D model in any way you want, though. So it's like, with a 2D sprite, anyone with, like, fucking, like, not even Photoshop, anyone with fucking Paint Tool can make a sprite, right? Anyone with Paint Tool can make a sprite. Anyone with any art, with the free art program, like a Photoshop or GIMP or something, can make a sprite. But then the bad thing, though, is that, like, you're just making, like, a 2D picture, so you gotta make, like, a 2D picture for each and every single frame. So, it's, like, it's easy to make, but then it takes longer to, like, do, like, a whole animation. Whereas, like, with 3D, though, it takes longer to make one model, but then, like, once you get that one model, though, you don't have to worry about, like, the actual, like, individual animations, because that one model, like, does everything for you. And then, like, if you just want to, like, edit that model, like, if you want to put a hat on it, or if you want to put, like, a different t-shirt on it, that's easy, too. Because, like, assuming that you made your 3D model in layers, which you should be doing, then, you could just unlayer, like, one of the t-shirts or head or something, and just slap something on top of it. And, like, that's really easy to do. Whereas, like, with the 2D sprite, if I want to, like, draw a brand new character, or if I want to use the same character with, like, different clothing, I essentially need to, like, redraw the entire character again. Even if I copy and paste it a little bit, like, you'd still have to, like, actually draw out, like, the whole entire t-shirt. And then also, you'd have to do new animations for, like, the hat or the t-shirt that you added too. You had to do, like, brand new shit. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying. Which is why, like, I wanted to, like, learn how to do, like, Blender better and shit like that. But I keep getting sidetracked or, like, not having time to learn Blender fully. It's like the only time I bothered to, like, force myself to learn Blender was when I was, like, modding Persona 5. Back when I was playing Persona 5, and that was it. And then, like, I kind of forgot everything I learned in those streams. I still have, like, a lot of the old footage of, like, me modding Persona 5, but, like, you know, if you don't use something, I guess, enough, you just kind of forget it. So, I need to relearn Blender, I guess. Oh, you can't look at the note anymore? Okay. Oh, I can't even talk. Oh, I can't talk to these guys. Oh, okay. And then, like, I think this is gonna be another plot twist because, like, she drew a picture of, like, the legendary Pokemon or something that she sees in her dreams. And then everyone's all like, okay, it's time for your meds. Take your meds now. And then, like me being genre savvy, it's like she's not having a crazy dream. She's being given visions by the legendary Pokemon, but no one believes her. So they think she's crazy. So the real plot twist is that she's actually not crazy at all, but people keep treating her as she's crazy. And then, like, we're actually going to meet the legendary Pokemon and shit. And then he'll be all like, yo, like, I tried to warn your mom and shit. And then you'd be all like, well, yeah, about that. Like, everyone thought she was crazy, so, you know. Yeah, you kind of fucked over my mom's life. Which, honestly, like, it's kind of fair when you think about it, though. Because, like, what if just a random person said that, like, you know, like, fucking, like, Jesus Christ, like, spoke to him in your dream or something. Or, like, God spoke to you in your dreams, you know? People would be like, oh, like, he's just very religious. And then, like, the guy would be like, no, it's legit. Like, the actual God or the actual Jesus spoke to me in my dream. It's like, nobody would believe you, right? Nobody would believe you, even if it is actually, like, 100% true. It's like, how would you prove that? How would you? How would you even prove that? Does your dad say anything different? Finally, someone was seeing this family. Don't waste any more time. Okay, so he says the same shit that he said at the start of the game. He's saying the exact same shit. Alright. Nothing new there. Yesterday's leftovers. Life is hard since mom is not at home. Okay, you know what? I'm actually kind of tired of this stereotype that, like... Okay. It's a very old school stereotype that has some basis in truth, but I don't think it works nowadays, though, unless you're just lazy. And maybe I'm underestimating how lazy people can be. But, like, this was very popular, like, I guess, like, in the 90s and 80s TV shows. And I guess it was also shown in anime as well. So, like, whenever, like, there's, like, divorced parents, or whenever, like, the mom and dad are separated, and there's always two kids, right? The kid that goes with the mom, like, the mom actually, like, is a better parent, so the mom teaches the kid how to, like, cook and clean and shit. So, like, the kid that goes with the mom can actually take care of themselves. But then the kid that goes with the dad's always, like, a slob or something, and, like, since the dad doesn't know how to cook, because, God forbid, dads know how to cook, right? like they always do takeout. They always eat like takeout, or they eat like instant noodles or something, which is like the only thing they can cook. And they always like leave dishes piled like in the sink. They never clean them or anything like that. But then the kid that goes with the dad though, he has more street smarts than the kid that went with the mom or something like that. But like, again, the kid that went with the mom knows how to cook and clean, and the kid that went with the dad does not know how to cook and clean. I remember like the earliest instance I remember seeing this that I remember in TV shows was in Digimon, the second season, when I was a kid. But then like I continue to see this stereotype like in sitcoms, both American and Japanese, as well as like animes and mangas and stuff like that. Or like, it doesn't always have to be divorced parents, it could also be like a dead parent or something. So like, if the dad is dead, and then like, it's just the mom or whatever, the mom instills cooking and cleaning in the kid, but then if the mom is dead, the dad does not know how to cook and clean, because I guess guys don't know how to cook and clean, but the dad at least instills like street smarts, and like, how to fight, how to like put him up or whatever shit in his kid. Regardless of whether or not the kid's like a daughter or a son or something like that. So, a daughter who is raised by a single father usually ends up being a tomboy or some shit. But then, like, a son being raised by a single mom usually ends up being, like, a little bit effeminate or something. But however, I don't think that holds up now, though. I think that's a stereotype that's actually, like, not useful or, like, not really a thing anymore. Because, like, we have the internet now. We have the avenue of the internet. And, like, maybe it's because I'm looking at it from the eyes of an adult and I'm not a teenager anymore, but like, I feel like if I was growing up in that era, because like when I was growing up, home computers were still not common enough. Not everyone had one. So very old school growing up. You had to be rich, or rich, kind of rich. You had to be like almost like above average in income to have a good like computer. And even then, the old internet sucked. Like even if you had a computer back then, you weren't really using it for much other than like actual homework or something. Like, you weren't really using that computer for like leisure activities. It wasn't a whole lot of like websites back then that like, you know, there's no YouTube, there's no like watching, there's no streaming anime or streaming movies on your computer yet or whatever. Pirating music was relatively new, you know, or something, but yeah, like, but now with the internet as it is now, though, it's like, I feel like if you are a kid, or if you are a teenager growing up with a single parent, or divorced parents, I feel like even if your mom or dad does not know how to cook and clean, and they didn't teach you that, I feel like you would teach that to yourself, and maybe I'm looking at that because, like, maybe that's too mature for a teenager, and I'm, like, misjudging it or something, but I feel like if I was a teenager who had, like, relative internet access, even if it's just from a smartphone or something, it's like, I would YouTube or, like, just search up on the internet, like, how do I make a good, like, you know, like, chicken pasta or something like that, because I don't want to eat, like, instant ramen all the time. Or, like, you know, how do I, like, fucking, like, make some good, like, egg noodles or some shit. I don't know. How do I cook rice? I mean, it's not that hard if you're Asian, too, because every Asian household has a fucking rice cooker. So, just pour the rice in there, pour some water, and yes, I'm going to actually say you don't need to clean the rice, but you probably should. But you don't have to clean the rice. It just makes your rice taste funny, though, and it's still edible, to be fair. But, like, at the very minimum, you add rice, you add water, you close the lid, and you push the button. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. The only reason why people make it seem like it's so much harder to cook rice is because they don't have a rice cooker. So, like, they're cooking rice on the pot method. And the pot method does have a little bit of finesse to it. Because, like, sometimes people put the heat too high or something. Because, like, you put the pot over the stove, you put the rice and you put the water, and then you put the lid on. And you're supposed to, like, not fuck with the lid. You don't fuck with the pot. You basically have to time it. You have to time it, and then you have to, like, make sure you wait until, like, the appropriate time for it to be cooked fully. And then you can open the pot. Because, like, the way rice is cooked is that, like, it's kind of pressurized. Because technically all rice cookers are pressure vessels. That's kind of like how all rice cookers are. But the great thing about a rice cooker is that, like, you set it and forget it. So, you add the rice, you add the water, you push the button, and then, like, you come back, like, an hour later, and then your rice is finished. But, like, it doesn't take an hour to make rice, though. I'm just saying that, like, if you're lazy like me, you're not timing your rice. You just go to it when you're ready to eat dinner. Like, for me, I would make rice, like, 2 hours in advance, 1 hour in advance of me eating dinner. Because, you know, it's automatic, you know? A rice cooker is automatic, so, like, I don't need to time it. I just had to think about it to myself, am I eating rice today? I'm Asian, of course I'm eating rice today. So, I just push the button, I don't know, then I just go fuck off and do whatever. I'll go masturbate or something. And then I'd be like, alright, it's time for me to eat dinner. And then, like, the rice is already finished. So, like, technically, like, it's not even cooking. I can't even call it cooking then. It's automatic, right? It's not even real cooking. If you're making rice, like, with the pot method, that's cooking. Because you actually had to, like, watch it. You had to, like, time your pot and shit like that. But if you're using, like, a pressure cooker, or if you're using, like, a fucking air fryer, that's not cooking. In my opinion, that's honestly not cooking. Because, like, everything is automatic. Which is a good thing, though, because it makes it easy to actually have real meals. And, like, the only reason that you should be having, like, instant noodles, like, for every meal at this point, is if you're dirt poor or something. Because, like, I think there's no excuse nowadays to, like, not eat real food, you know? Go buy a bag of chicken breast or chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are usually cheaper, at least in my experience. Go bag of drumsticks. Drumsticks are the cheapest, I think. Go buy like a 5-pound bag of chicken drumsticks, and you know, toss that in the air fryer, or like if you have a slow cooker or like a pressure cooker, you could actually just toss it in there, honestly, and it will come out tender. Just don't forget the spices, obviously. You gotta spice it. You gotta salt, pepper. If you're Asian, you put lemongrass on it or something. Soy sauce if you're super Asian or something. I grew up on oyster sauce and sweet soy sauce. So I use a lot of Thai ingredients. Yeah. I don't actually use a lot of lemongrass, but like my grandparents use a lot of lemongrass, but I don't though. But it's something that like I grew up with though. But yeah, there's no excuse anymore. We have the internet. And like it's really not that hard to follow instructions. Like I don't know why people cannot follow instructions. They had to like fuck with the instructions too. It's like, all right, this is how you make like a good like chicken parmesan or whatever. And then it's like add in like 2 cups of buttermilk, add in like 1 cup of flour or something, and add in like, you know, add in like a pinch of salt or something. And then people fuck with the recipe. It's like, it's literally written right there. Why are you fucking with it, you know? And then it comes out bad, right? Because they fuck with the recipe. And then like, they're all like, oh, I can't cook. I guess I'll just stop cooking now. It's like, I mean, you could. It's just that like you're not following the recipe for some stupid ass reason, you know? Like, as long as you follow the recipe exactly, you should not have any problems, you know? It's like, you put it in the oven for like 1 hour at like 350 degrees or something like that. 400 degrees or something. You just set a fucking timer. You have a phone. Your phone's a timer too. Just don't forget about it, basically. And then it burns because people also ignore their timers. And then again, they blame themselves for the wrong reason, and then they just think they can't cook. This is also like why I hate stereotypical anime waifus that can't cook, because they always fuck with recipes they read. It's like, oh, like, here's an easy recipe. And then they're like, you know what? I'm gonna add some fucking chocolate to this fucking, like, chicken recipe. And I'm all like, does the recipe ask for chocolate? It doesn't. Stop fucking with it. Like, I get that, like, it's a moe thing, and, like, it's kind of an endearing characteristic, I guess. Also, it's anime, so, like, it has to be funny. But then, like, I just can't, like, I can't, like, not think about it from a realistic perspective, you know? It's like, if you have, like, this actual person in your life that is always, like, making toxic waste for dinner or something, it's like, bro, you need to sit him or her down and be like, do you know why you can't cook? Do you know why everyone doesn't want to eat your food? It's because you fuck with recipes too much. Like, I'm just being real as a friend that, like, if you were to actually follow the recipe and not add in stupid shit when, like, it's not asking for it, you would actually make a decent dinner. Instead, you're adding in chocolate, or you're like, oh, you know what, like, there's not enough protein in this meal. I'm going to add in, like, steak and eggs, even though this is a pork recipe or something. It's all like, what are you doing? And then you're wondering why it turns out so bad afterwards. I don't know. And the thing is that, like, there's a lot of YouTube videos that tell newbies to not follow recipes 100%, but I do think that's bad advice for a new cook, though. A new cook should actually follow recipes 100% because they need to learn what actually works first before they experiment, basically. It is good advice to not follow a recipe 100%, but it is also bad advice to not follow a recipe 100% if you don't know how to cook in the first place. So, if you know how to cook in the first place, then it's okay to adjust a recipe then. So, like, you're looking at a recipe, and then you're all like, okay, cool. I don't have, like, this particular ingredient, but I have something to substitute. And as long as you have the experience to know what you can substitute, that's fine then. But if you don't know how to cook, you really shouldn't be fucking with it, because you don't know, like, what works and what doesn't. You're just kind of just throwing shit haphazardly in a pot, and that's how you get, like, a witch's brew. That's how you get, like, fucking toxic waste, like, from an anime or something like that. And then that's why people don't want to eat your food, because it tastes horrible, and what like that. You hate when people start adding eggs to everything in cooking videos? Because also, they see cooking YouTubers or whatever, they're like, oh, like, it's an emulsifier, or, like, it adds some zing, without, like, actually explaining, like, what it actually does or something like that. And then, like, people copy that without also knowing, like, what it does. Also, like, even spices, too, people fuck up, too. It's like, add in, like, 2 tablespoons of salt, and then people's all like, huh, that doesn't seem like enough. I'm gonna add a cup of salt, and then I'm gonna balance it with a cup of sugar. It's like, wait, did the recipe call for sugar? It did not. Why? Stop screwing with the recipe. If it's your first time, if it's, like, literally your first time cooking with, like, a certain dish, you need to learn what the dish is first before you can experiment with it. You need to learn that part. Otherwise, you're just gonna come out with something completely different. Yeah, it's like, I can't stand that in real life. And usually anime waifus that have that characteristic, I'm usually not a fan of that as well. But then people eat it up, though. Like, fucking otakus are all like, oh, it's so cute that she doesn't know how to cook. Then the obligatory scoop of MSG. Which, you don't need a lot of MSG, though. Like, as an Asian that does have MSG, like, you don't need a lot. You get like diminishing returns if you add in a whole lot of MSG. But then people act like MSG will save a dish or something, you know, like, because they hear the word umami. It's umami. It's umami. That's what my dish needs. It's like, bro, you have, like, steak and mushrooms in there. Mushrooms is, like, literal MSG, and steak has its own umami. You don't need to add more. You don't need to add more umami to your dish. You're fucking up the ratio and shit, you know? Because MSG is like with any spice. Spices, you need to actually learn how to use them. You just can't throw them at anything, you know? Most dishes can be saved with, like, a little bit of salt. Just don't put too much salt, you know? A lot of people that have, like, too much, like, salt or sodium in their diet, it's probably because they're eating a lot of processed food. It's not because of their bad cooking or something. I noticed that, like, a lot of people who don't cook a lot, they tend to undersalt their own meals. And then, like, whenever they eat, like, you know, pre-made foods, pre-made food is garbage most of the time, and, like, it's oversalted. And then, you get caught in the loop of, like, I can't cook, So I'm just gonna keep on like getting takeout. I'm gonna keep on buying frozen dinners, which is like packed full of sodium. It's packed full of preservatives. But then like when they eat their own food, it's either toxic waste or it's bland. You know, they're like, oh, I made something that is technically edible, so it's not waste, it's not burnt, but like it don't taste like anything. It's like super bland or something. Whether or not it's super bland or like it's unedible, they both come from the same problem that like they're probably not following the recipe. That's probably it. Like they're just not following it. It's not that hard. Not that fucking hard. It's like people will like watch too many like YouTube videos or they watch too many influencers, I guess, because like that's like a whole genre. You cooking YouTube and cooking TikTok or something, and like they think that they're a fucking chef all of a sudden. It's like, yo, I watched like 10 episodes of like this Food Network show. I can cook now. It's like, can you? Can you cook now? You know? And then like they just throw shit together and like it doesn't work. And then they're like, oh, I just kind of copied what I saw on the Food Network. It didn't work out or something. You know? Also, like, a lot of people too that like can't cook, they also tend to like not have like cooking utensils. And then like if they think they can't cook, they won't buy new cooking utensils. Like they have like one pot, and that pot wasn't probably something they bought too. That pot was a gift or something. Like someone gave them a pot when they moved out, like when they went on their own for the first time. They have like one pot, and then they have like one kitchen knife or some shit like that. Like that's all they have. Like that's the extent of like their kitchen hardware. I mean, like, I'm not saying you need to spend like $1,000 on like cooking utensils, but like you can literally go to Walmart and spend like $30 on like a cooking set, and like that's good for a beginner or some shit, you know? And then if you want to buy that like $300 like KitchenAid or something, then do it once you're more confident in cooking. But then like some people do spend like $1,000 on cooking utensils, and they're the same people that can't cook. And then they're like, I spend so much money on like all these kitchen supplies, and yet for some reason my food still turns out like shit, you know? It's like, yeah, like spending $1,000 on like those fancy kitchen knives isn't gonna magically make your food taste good, you know? I feel sorry for the raw chicken and the steak that you're buying, because every steak that you get turns to charcoal. Every chicken that you get turns into a fucking biohazard, you know? I feel sorry for the food. I feel sorry for the ingredients. Like, do you know what I think is also very forgiving? Like, just bread. If you want to make a very basic bread, I mean, it'll probably be tasteless, but like, water and flour. That's literally it. Like, it's a two ingredient recipe, basically. Water, flour, and maybe like a pinch of salt. It'll probably be very like flavorless or whatever, but like at least it'll be edible. At least you can eat it, you know? Just think of how pretty the fancy copper pots look. Ooh. Yo, like copper though, like that's definitely not for beginners. People also like don't take care of like the kitchen supplies too. That's usually where like I would recommend stainless steel for like newbies that like don't cook a lot. Okay, it's also too like people see like the influencers. They either buy like the copper pots or they buy like the carbon steel, right? The carbon steel woks or whatever, the carbon steel pots and pans. You actually need to take care of those. First off, you can't just throw them in the dishwasher. They're not made for that. You actually need to hand wash it. And then you also need to actually like quote unquote like season a wok. You had to like fucking work with like, you know, cast iron and shit like that, you know? Like, yeah, like those things actually require you to kind of baby them. And then people don't. And then they have rust. That's one of my biggest pet peeves too. When like, I look in someone's like kitchen cabinet and I see literal rust like on their pots and pans. I'm like, well, that's clearly not stainless steel. It's like, when's the last time you actually like oil this up or something. And then they look at me like I'm speaking in like a different language. I'm like, do you not know how to take care of this? I spent $300 on it. It's like, yeah, that means you have to actually take care of it, which means you're spending more than $300. You're spending more money to take care of it. Or like when I see people with like the sharpening knives, blocks and shit. You know, the sharpening stones. It's like, when's the last time you used that sharpening stone? I don't know. I saw a YouTuber use it, so I bought it. It's like that sharpening stone has been underneath your sink for like 10 years. You haven't used it at all. It's like, I don't know what's worse. Seeing someone without any kitchen utensils, or seeing someone that has kitchen utensils, but they wasted money on it because they don't use it. You know, they spent like $1,000 on kitchen shit. It's like, do you even know how to use a honing knife? Do you even know how to use this? When's the last time you used that blender? What do you even blend, by the way? I always see you eat pizza, you know? You just need a cast iron, they last forever. They do last forever. They do. As long as you know how to take care of it. It always breaks my heart when, like, I see people post about how they have a cast iron, and, like, they have either, like, a well-meaning, like, mom or girlfriend or some shit, or boyfriend or something, that's like, hey, this cast iron looks dirty. Oh, like, there's something on top of it. I'm gonna scrape it off. I'm gonna make sure it's clean. Because cast iron is supposed to look black. It's not supposed to look like, you know, stainless steel. But people that don't know, though, they think it looks dirty. Because they think it's supposed to look like, you know, like silver. They think it's supposed to look like stainless steel. But, like, that's how it looks like when it's fresh. But, like, you know, obviously, if you cooked in cast iron for a long time, it develops that patina. So that way, like, you know, it's supposed to last forever. Yeah, cast iron is supposed to last you a lifetime. But that's also if you take care of it. Because cast iron does rust if you don't take care of it. But yeah, I've seen like, horror stories from people saying that, like, I've had this, my grandmother passed me this cast iron when she died. And then my girlfriend wanted to be nice, so she destroyed it. She ran it through the dishwasher like 5 times, and then she also put like bleach. She put bleach and like OxyClean powder on top of it to get rid of the patina. And then like they showed pictures of it afterwards, and like I'm cringing. Like the more I read the story, I'm like cringing so hard. I'm like, yo, like, I'm about to break up with that girl. It's like, again, like, the gesture is nice, I guess. I guess the gesture is nice, but, like, also, like, damn. Like, it also shows, too, that, like, the girlfriend or the boyfriend, in this case, like, obviously, they don't cook. Because they don't know what cast iron is. You know? It's always kind of weird to, like, be angry when, like, someone tries to do something nice for you, but then, like, it costs you money to fix, right? It's like, how angry would you be if, like, you had, like, a boyfriend or girlfriend who, like, wanted to help you with your car, and, like, they have, like, very rudimentary knowledge of, like, car shit, right? And then they read online or something. They're like, oh, like, a car needs oil. So they literally pour, like, vegetable oil in, like, the car's, like, fucking gasoline pipe or something, or they pour vegetable oil in the actual oil part or some shit, you know? And then, like, when you get home from hanging out with your friends, then, like, your girlfriend or boyfriend's are like, oh, like, I topped off the oil in your car. It's like, you did what? It's like, yeah, we had, like, some extra like kitchen vegetable oil, so, like, I poured it in the car. I added, like, a gallon of it or something. And you're like, okay, cool. This is gonna cost money to fix now. It's like, I don't even want to start the car at that point, you know? It's like, babe, you don't put kitchen oil in the car, you know? You don't do that. Don't do that or something. Oh, I forget what movie it was called. So, like, there is it's like a 90s. It's like a 90s movie. Like, there's a cop. There's a cop that lives with his mom, and he's, like, 30 or 40 years old, some shit. He's a really good cop though, but like also like his mom kind of babies him and shit. And like his other cop friends kind of make fun of him for that. There is one scene in this movie that I remember very vividly where like the mom is trying to be nice, so the mom washes his guns. Like, you know, because he's a cop, so he has guns at home. So his mom actually takes apart all the guns, which actually is very, is actually kind of like very dexterous of her. Like, I guess she knew how to take apart the guns or something. So she takes apart the guns, and then she literally uses like fucking Dawn soap and water on every part of the gun. And then she even cleans the bullets, like the individual bullets too. And then she runs like she runs it through bleach or something, like Clorox bleach and whatever. And then she puts it all back together and shit. And then like, which again, like, that's actually kind of impressive that she was able to do that. But then by doing that though, she essentially destroyed the gun, right? The gun's like unusable anymore, you know? And like, in the next scene afterwards, like her son, the cop's son, you know, like he's looking over his guns. He's like, huh, they feel different. They smell weird or some shit. And she's all like, oh, I cleaned them for you, honey. And like, then he's all like, wait, how did you clean it? Or something. Then she goes through the steps that process how she cleaned it. And then she even used sandpaper because like the grip on the pistol grip like was too rough in her opinion. So she even got sandpaper and she sanded it smooth and shit, you know? And he's all like, this is a $200 gun, and you ruined it. I literally cannot use this gun anymore. And then like he had to go to the station and like get like a new gun or something. And like then like his like sergeant or whatever, his officer sergeant's like, why do you need to get a new gun? And he's all like, no reason. This is why, like, if I actually don't know something, I would not fuck with any of my friend's shit. I would not fuck with, like, any of, like, my girlfriend's shit or something like that. Because I don't know. I don't know, like, if it has to be taken care of in some special way or something. It's like, it doesn't matter, like, how nice you're trying to be. If you end up destroying something because you don't know any better, that is time and money that you're also taking away from that person that you care about. And your nice gesture is kind of wasted, basically. This is why, like, I also cringe at people who think they know computers and shit. And, like, they see, like, one YouTube video. And it's like, I'm a computer expert now. I'm gonna, like, get rid of the viruses on, like, you know, on, like, my dad's computer. And, like, the dad is, like, an IT tech person or something. Maybe they actually use that computer for work. And then, like, they download, like, a bunch of fucking malware and spyware, like, on their dad's computer or some shit. And then the dad goes, you know, to his computer work, and he's all like, the fuck happened to my computer? And then, like, the kid's all like, oh, I fixed it. Fixed what? There's nothing wrong with it. What were you trying to fix? You know, and now the dad essentially has to get a new computer, because this computer is so botched up, it's basically garbage now or something. Or, like, people who also think that, like, your computer is dusty and looks dirty, so, like, they want to clean your computer without understanding that, like, the electronics of your computer is, like, very fragile, and, like, they don't actually know that, like, you're not supposed to do certain things to it or something. I've actually seen horror stories from friends in college, who have lost, like, $1,000 computers, like, desktop computers, $1,000 desktop computers, $2,000 desktop computers, all because, like, their grandma or, like, their parents, like, wanted to do something nice for them, so they took apart their computer or some shit, and then they cleaned it or something. But then, like, they also don't understand how to take apart a computer. So, like, you know how, like, your graphics card or, like, your RAM or something, you know how, like, they're clipped in on the motherboard? Like, you push it in and they clip. And then if you want to take it out, you have to unclip it. Well, they don't know that. So they pulled it. They literally just pulled it. And then, of course, like, if you're trying to use your hand, obviously it just won't come out because it's locked in. So, like, you know, the mom or dad or the grandparent, they're like, oh, it's stuck in there pretty hard. I'm going to get pliers. I'm going to get pliers and then pull it out. then they literally like just fucking yank it out. Or like they clean, God forbid, they clean the hard drive, right? Like the hard disk drive. Like they literally like dunk it in water, some shit like that. And then they run like Dawn soap in it. Because to be fair, to play devil's advocate, that is a good way to clean a lot of things. Like especially like pots and pans or something, like to let it soak in water. I mean, as long as we're not talking about cast iron, obviously, but if we're talking about like stainless steel or something like that, or like maybe like your cutting board, not your wooden cutting board, but like, you know, maybe like your gunked up cutting board or your baking sheet, that you know, like soaking it in water and soap or something is a good way to get the crusty bits off. But obviously you wouldn't do that for electronics. But again, these people that mean well, they're going with what they know, and they destroy your computer. And it's all like, I can't defend that. There's a lot of people who would argue with me on this. It's all like, they were just being nice. It's all like, I work in IT. I work in computers, whatever like that. I literally use that computer for work. And they destroyed it. I can't work right now. And I gotta spend like another $2,000, $1,000 to buy a new computer. I'm $1,000 in the hole now. And also, like, I have a deadline to meet. Like, I have my project needs to be finished by like tonight, and I was gonna finish it tonight. Now I can't finish it. Now I gotta call my boss, and I have to explain to them why I can't finish it. Like when something like that is like that bad, it's like I can't defend the well-meaning boyfriend or girlfriend or parents or grandparents. It's like, you should have asked. You honestly should have asked. Or like even suits too. I've also seen like well-meaning family members like try to like clean someone's clothes or something, but then like it's silk or something, or like it's dry clean only or something like that, but they just toss it in the washer because it's clothing. You toss anything in the washer and then it rips. It's ruined. Because also they run everything through the normal cycle. Like a lot of people, they never touch the other buttons on our washer. Like there's like a delicate cycle, there's like a hot and warm cycle, or like a cold and cold cycle. Like there's all these other buttons. A lot of people don't touch those because they don't know how to use the fucking washer in the first place. And they only ever buy cheap clothing from like, I mean, okay, this sounds like I'm ragging on poor people, but like they only ever buy cheap clothing from like fucking like the 99-cent store or some shit or whatever like that. So like they don't have expensive clothing or whatever, or they don't own a tuxedo or some shit. So like in their eyes, they could just throw anything in there, and next thing you know, it's ruined. I've experienced myself too. I have literally had my work uniforms ruined, because of a well-meaning person who did the laundry for me without asking me. And like, I pretty much had to tell my boss, hey, I need a uniform replacement. And they're like, why? And I'm like, here's a picture. Here's a picture of my uniform. And then I asked them, like, can I wear this? And they're like, no, you can't. What happened to your uniform? Then I had to give them the story. You know? And that's happened to me multiple times, too. Sometimes it's not my uniform. Sometimes it's also, like, my bed sheets. I own silk bed sheets, by the way. And I actually do own, like, a couple of, like, cashmere and silk, suits and shirts in my closet and shit. And those had to be cleaned in a very certain way, you know? I have been told by women before, too, very ignorant women, that, like, guys don't own delicate clothing. And I'm all like, what made you think that? What makes you say that? That guys can't own delicate clothing or something like that? And I have proof, you know, like, I have literal proof that they ruined my clothes, because when I take it out of the washer to show them, I'm like, look, it's rags. It's literally fucking rags. What cycle did you run this in? And then, like, they don't even know what I'm talking about. They're like, what's a cycle? I'd be like, what buttons did you push on this thing? I just pushed the default button. It's like, you literally cannot watch this. That's why it's a bunch of fucking rags now. You know that you just destroyed $400, right? This was like a $400 suit right here, you know? It's like, I was just trying to be nice. It's like, I can't appreciate the gesture. I'm $400 in the hole, because I actually need this. I need to go and buy another one. Gotta go fucking take a loan or some shit. God, fuck. You know? It's like trying to be nice and like the intention only goes so far. It does. It does only go so far. If that makes me sound like an asshole, then so be it. But because like I've heard the horror stories and because I've been on the receiving ends of these things, I know not to fuck with other people's shit unless I ask for it. And even if I do know it, like, I know computers, so if I see, like, my friend's computer, and I think, like, it could be, like, improved upon, I still won't touch it, now without their permission, you know? I'd be like, yo, my guy, like, I think you got some malware on your computer. And then, like, if he actually tells me, I trust you, man, go ahead and can you get rid of that for me? Because, like, I'm busy right now. I'd be like, sure thing, bro. Because I fucking asked for permission. I mean, going back to the clothing thing, it's like having friends and people that I trust go through my clothing baskets and just to clean them and to ruin my clothing too, you know, and then they're all like, oh, I was trying to be nice. It's all like, I'm not going to your place and fucking with your underwear drawer or some shit like that, right? And like, I'm talking to a girl in this conversation, right? Like, do you want me to go clean your bra and panties? And she's like, no, you pervert. I'm like, then why are you going through my shit, right? Why are you fucking cleaning my fucking like boxers and my suits and shit like that? Like, it's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. Like, if you're saying I can't clean your clothes, you probably shouldn't clean mine either, because you don't know what's expensive and you don't know what's not polyester, what's not cotton. Because I think polyester, in my opinion, is probably like one of the most like rigid types of fabric that you could probably own. And polyester tends to be kind of cheap as well. So like usually like a lot of like cheap clothing that people get, it's like 50% cotton and 50% polyester. And like you could just run that through like the harshest cycle in a washer and it'll come out just fine. And then you could tumble dry it in the dryer, like it comes out fine. But again, you can't do that for everything. And a lot of things need to be like dry cleaned only. So you gotta take care of that shit. I've also had like some people tell me how like other younger siblings would like try to like clean like dishes like for them in the sink or whatever, which again is a very nice gesture, but they actually don't let them do it and then they get mad. It's like there is a valid reason for that, because there's knives. There's like knives and shit, and like kids can hurt themselves if they don't know how to handle knives and crap. And then of course, like if they cut their hand or whatever like that, guess who gets blamed? You know, like they get blamed by the parents because the parents are like, oh, why'd you let little Timmy cut his hand or something? It's like, I told Timmy not to fuck with the sink. I was gonna go wash the dishes in like 5 minutes. He tried to help. And it's all like, yeah, it's your fault that he cut himself. You know? Okay, this was one hell of a side rant. All because of this. All because of this fucking text box. This fucking dialogue bot. Oh my god. One hell of a side rant I went on. I gotta highlight this. That's like a 30-minute rant right there. Alright. Oh, Butterfree. Cool. Can I go up? Right, that's why I couldn't go up. Victory Road. Oh, wow, we're like right next to Victory Road, technically. This map looks almost identical to like Gen 1. It looks very close to Gen 1. There's a couple differences. I don't know why, but like I always feel like every RPG, especially like very long RPGs like Final Fantasy games or something, every RPG or like JRPG or whatever, Western RPG, whatever, I guess RPG in general, I believe they should always give the player a reason to go back to the starting village. I don't have a basis for that, by the way. It's just more of like a personal thing that I believe in. Like if I were to like design my own game, I always feel like the starting village like should be important for like the player character to like always go back to, especially like from a lore standpoint. But very few games I've ever played like actually utilize the starting village for anything. And it's like if you go, especially like old school RPGs too, where it's like every city only has like one purpose in the game, and then after that the NPCs just like loop dialogue. You know, it's like, oh, thank you for saving the village, or thanks for like releasing us from like the tyrant or like the king's grasp or something, and then that's it. Like there's no reason at that point to go back to that village or city anymore. But I believe the starting village should be like the exception to that rule. There should always be a reason to come back. But even in like, even up to like the PlayStation 2 era, you know, like of RPGs, like you go back to starting village, nothing's changed. No, the characters all like act the same way. All right, so we beat the guy, and then like there was a bunch of like Badoofs right here, and he was like, "Oh, let me go and like scare these guys off or something. That way you can like continue on your journey." So I guess I'm going to Elisio Town. Guess that's where I'm going. Yeah, I need to like remember like what route to go. That it? Okay, that for some reason like this was like there was like dirt right here, so like I thought that was like a cave entrance. Okay, so all of these NPCs I've talked to. And then I did go through the left side, because I remember the left side had like the side quest or something. So that way I can get like the feather. Oh yes, the feather, right. I haven't used it, right. I want my Eevee. I want my Eevee. Wait, did I use it? Did I use it already? No, I haven't used it yet. I haven't used it. Where is it? What is it under? No, not that one. Oh, it's under key items. That's weird. That's weird. That's under key items. All right, cool. I get the new Eevee. So, pure flying type? Is that what this is? Feather dance. Wraps the target with a feather cloak to greatly reduce his attack. Oh, so it's charm. It's charm, but like a flying version of it. Oh, it's pure flying. It is pure flying. I kind of never understood like why Eevee has baton pass, because like Eevee is not particularly tanky, and Eevee doesn't get a whole lot of like status moves. It's like I don't see a good baton pass Eevee, or like any of the other evolutions like Jolteon. I know that Jolteon does learn agility, I guess. I think Umbreon can learn like bulk up or something. I just don't see like a good baton pass like evolution. I think Smoggin, like, has, like, some kind of baton pass Eevee thing, but then, like, the purpose of, like, that Eevee is to actually take someone else's buff from another baton pass, and then to baton pass it again, or something like that. As I know I've seen a Smoggin. I've seen a Smoggin baton pass Eevee before, but, like, it just didn't seem like it was particularly good to me, but, like, I don't know how to use it, though. I don't understand what made it good, I guess. What the? In double battles, it receives electric attacks. Oh shit, it has Pokerus! Oh! I think this is the first time I've legitimately gotten Pokerus on stream. It's like, I've gotten Pokerus before, like, off stream when, like, I'm playing my own Pokemon games, but, like, I don't think I've ever gotten Pokerus on stream before. That's cool. I wonder when he got it. There's not even, like, an icon. Yeah, I don't see, like, any, like, discernible icon on him. Does anybody else have Pokerus? Oh, wait. Wait, did they all have Pokerus? Like, did they just get it? Huh. I think the first time, like, I ever got Pokerus was, like, Pokemon Black and White or something. I think Black and White was the first time I ever got it. Okay, I'm just trying to think about, like, how Lightning Rod would be useful. In Double Battles, it receives electric attacks. It's a flying Pokemon, which means it's weak to electric. How is this good? How is this fucking good? I'm, like, really thinking about this right now. It's like, I don't think there's a way for me to use this. And also, Double Battles is a rarity, too. It's pretty rare. Like, you usually don't get into Double Battles. So it's like, I don't think this is ever gonna come up. Like, ever. Because even if I do go into a Double Battle, like, what's the odds of, like, the Double Battle person having electric attacks? And also, again, Hefarian is a flying type, so it's gonna die. It's literally going to just die. I guess the only way this could work is if I have Hefarian use, shit, I forget what the move is called. Like, any of those, like, protection moves. Oh, wait, is it called just Protect? Right, it's called Protect, right? It's called Protect. So it's like, I could have Hefarian use Protect on turn 1 if I, like, think the CPU is gonna use an electric attack, I guess. But then, like, Protect's like a one-time thing. You know, I can't spam Protect. I think that's the only use. That's, like, literally the only use for it. This Eevee technically has no skill. The skill does not exist. Alright then. Wait, is it a physical or a special attacker? It's a special. It's a special attacker. Oh, it is also my fastest Pokemon. 94 speed. It is my fastest Pokemon. Is there any good TMs I could teach this thing? I have Air Cutter. I need a stab move. .95 accuracy. That's not bad. Okay, and that is special. That is a special attack. Can you learn Hone Claws? Nope. Omnious Wind. What is that? What is that? What even is that? Produces a horrifying wind. It can suddenly raise all the characters of a user. It's a special ghost type move. I won't get stabbed, but it'll be nice to have the coverage, I guess. The coverage would be nice. Because right now, I still don't have, like, a good, like... I don't have a good way to fight against, like, dark types or, like, psychic types right now. Collect, flame charge, attract. Anyone can learn attract. I think Tetsamaru is pretty attractive. I'll skip that for now. Thunder Punch? Nobody's got hands. There's no hands on anybody. Energy Ball? Nope. I pretty much did buy every TM from like the main city. I bought like basically every TM. This is slightly weaker. Incinerate, Gyro Ball, Bulldoze, Work Up, Rock Smash. That's it? That's all my TMs. Alright. Alright, as of now, I don't know like how useful Eevee's gonna be. But I am going to use Eevee though. I will use Eevee. Whenever I play like these fan-made games, I do make it a rule to use the new Eevee. Because like that's very popular. Every fan-made Pokemon game always makes a new Eevee. I mean, like, it's like the easiest new Pokemon to make, right? Everybody makes an Eevee. Everybody makes one. Can I one-shot this? I don't know if I can one-shot it. Close! Close. Oh, good. He wasted his first turn. All right. He probably could have taken me out with like Petal Dance or something, but he didn't do that. Lampit. Oh, I have like a silk scarf thing on Catherian. I gotta take that off of him. Hey, Jeltic is evolving. Cool. That would have been really nice to have during the gym leader fight. Would have been nice. Yeah, now the stats aren't shit no more. Because the stats are super shit. Like when it was like in its baby form. I mean, not really in a baby form, just as its first level. Whatever. It still sucked. In the end, it sucked. Okay, what's some good hold items I got? Quick Claw, Shell Bell, Heart Scale, Iron Ball, Heartstone, Black Sludge, Everstone, Rocky Helmet. I guess Rocky Helmet? I don't really got anything else to give this thing. I usually like to prioritize like offensive items over defensive items, but I don't have any good offensive items to give to Catherian. Nope, nothing that one. Man, I've been so spoiled from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like, only now do I realize how toxic it is to, like, force the player into, like, these encounters with the Pokemon trainers. Like, with the NPCs. is like you can't explore the region because every fucking trainer wants to fight you. Whereas like in Scarlet and Violet, like you can skip them all. No one forces you into a fight, you know? Scyther. Yeah, this. Oh! Ass. Holy shit! Why did that do so much damage? That mega hurt. Wait, what the fuck is this? I don't know what the fuck this is. What even is this? Oh, it's that Sword and Shield. It's the Sword and Shield dog. Yeah, that's what it is. I literally did not remember what this thing was. I never used it. Oh, that sucks. Yo, half of my team is weak to electric attacks. Half of it is literally weak to electric. I can't switch. I can't fucking switch. So I guess I'll just keep using Bug Bite, even though it's not that strong. I can't even use Thunder Wave since like it's a fucking electric thing. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Alright, is Kefarian faster than Boltund? What's that thing on your ear? What is that? Oh, it's like the feather accessory. Ah, that's what it is. Feather accessory. Nice. Alright, cool. Gotta go back and heal. Oh, that's a... Yep, there we go. Twisted Spoon! I don't have a Kadabra in my party, unfortunately. Is that only for Kadabra, or can any Pokemon use it? Ah, any Psychic. Any Psychic types. I don't have any Psychic types, though, so, eh. Where's the healing people? Oh god, I went way too far back. I went, like, super far back. Oh, here it is. Oh, I didn't even have to go that far. Leo. It's like, I would want to use Pyroar, but Pyroar is part normal, and I don't like that. I don't like the part normal part. Gotta love Quick Balls. Technically, in Legends Arceus, every Pokeball is a Quick Ball when you think about it. In Legends Arceus, like a Quick Ball would pretty much be like superfluous in Legends Arceus. I don't need any more flying types. I have like 2 flying types on my team. It's like I'm probably gonna get rid of Farfetch, I guess. Yeah, I'll probably get rid of Farfetch. Welcome, traveler. I've been assigned to the dullest place to keep the peace. There hasn't been a crime here since my grandmother's time. I mean, isn't that a good thing? That there's no crime and shit? Light screen. Oh. No, kids, you can't play. I'm stopping you. That looks kind of weird. Like a Mr. Mime being surrounded by kids like that. Is not only famous for its peaceful and bucolic atmosphere, it's also an important starting point for adventurers who venture into Indigo Forest. Nope. Must check every garbage can. Sure, give me the history of the village. Built the first houses, Native burial grounds, tourist attraction, Alright. I don't know if that's important. Well, this was important because it's a fucking roadblock. Like, I literally can't go there. So, I'm probably gonna go there then. Go ahead and pick a hand. Left. Oh, cool! That'll work. I can give the sharp beak to a Catharian. Alright, cool. Don't worry about the ancient burial grounds. Only 7 people disappeared. Alright. Indigo Forest, infested with spider Pokemon. Some trees that fall on Route 8 in the night at the end. Okay, cool. Game is trying to get me into the next cutscene. Oh, wait a minute. Catharian might have something. Silver Wind. Helping Hand, Tackle, Tail Whip, Gust, Tailwind. Twister. Defog. So Dragon is only good against Dragon. So that's not particularly useful or anything like that. And like, I've never known how to use Tailwind. I've never really known how to use it. Let me see, what's more useful, Bug or Ghost? So Ghost is good against Ghost. Good against Psychic. Bug is also good against Psychic. I kind of forget like what the interaction with Dark types is, so like I'm gonna double check that actually. I'm gonna double check that. Let me see. Bug. So Bug is super effective against Grass, Psychic, and Dark. I forgot about the Grass. I kind of forgot about the Grass part, but Catharian is part Flying. So Flying is already good against Grass, so I don't need that part. Ghost is good against Ghost and Psychic. Yeah, that's... I think Ghost is weak to Dark. I mean defensively, but offensively. Ghost is not effective against Dark, and has no effect on normal. So I guess the bug is better? I guess the bug is better. I would only want to pick bug, I guess, specifically for the Dark super effective, I guess. Dark and Psychic? Yeah, alright. It's just, they both do the same same damage. So it's just, I want to keep Sand Attack. So I just want to like pick one that like I think I'll use. Buy something. I can buy Ultra Balls now. Nothing? Cutscene. What's this about not letting people out the door? Haven't they taught you any manners? Don't look at me like that. Are you looking for a fight? Well, you're get it. Who the fuck is this, like, red wannabe? He looks like he's red, but, like, it's not red, though. Pidgeotto. Oh my god, wait, is it like an Ash wannabe? Wait, is this Ash? Wait, is that who this is? I think this is Ash. Because Ash is a red wannabe. He looks like Ash. Is he gonna, like, end off with Pikachu? He started off with Pidgeotto. Munchlax. Alright, it's not Ash. It's not Ash. I guess, like, any similarities to Ash is a pure coincidence. Or Red. Any similarities is just coincidence. Thunder Punch! Good thing that doesn't have Stab. Poliwrath. Wait, this is red! No, it's not red. It's not red. It's just a random trainer. It is so not red. I'm pretty sure it's not red. Because red in the manga does have a he did have a Poliwag. Ice Punch. That kind of hurt. God, Liquidation like hits like a fucking tank. I keep forgetting that fighting is like weak to flying. It's like something that never comes up for me. Yes, you are strong. Can I be your rival from now on? Eh. How good. Every good trainer must have a round of magic. I said eh. I didn't say yes. Listen to me, I'm Vermilion. Well, my friends are going to freak out when I tell them I have a rival. No, I am not your rival. I feel like this kid is like an Ash wannabe, or like a Red wannabe or something. He looks similar. But he's more annoying, though. I don't want to deal with this. Oh, look, it's Gala. That's our rival. Gala's our actual rival. Imafuka, we seem to be meeting each other over the world. Have you also come to see the native cemetery? You know, it's the main tourist attraction of this town. I'm honestly not amused that the resting place of my ancestors has been transformed into a stupid fairground attraction. But I guess it's just the way that things happen. I'd still like to visit that cemetery. Let's reserve a room, come on. Are you two going to stay? Well, it looks like you got a nice little group together. A journalist recently came here who was interested in studying native culture. And not only that, a celebrity from Kanto arrived this morning with his grandson. Oh! It's Green? It's Green and it's Professor Oak? Professor Oak and Green? I love meeting people, so all the better. They're upstairs resting. Go visit them if you want to get acquainted with each other. Oh look, I can tell that even with the sprite work, she's winking. I'll go and have a look. You have to be sociable in life. I don't know, I want to be introverted, Gala. Did you know that Pokemon can have different natures? And depending on them, they will have great potential in certain characteristics? No. Thought she was gonna give me something. I honestly couldn't tell that, like, this was the hotel, because, like, it looks like the same as, like, all the other houses. It's, like, it's slightly bigger, but, like, it still looks the same. They should have made the hotel more obvious. Oh, okay, I need rock climb. Alright. So, I'm obviously going to get rock climb from, like, the cemetery. So, I literally can't do anything right now, other than, like, continue on the story. So, I guess that's what I'll do. Oh, God. Oh, I forgot! So, this game takes place, like... I think it was like 100 years after, like, Red and Blue. I forgot about that, because, like, they talked about Giovanni. It's like 100 years after Gen 1, and they said Giovanni looks young still or something. So, is the old guy Red, and his grandson is, like, a Red wannabe? He has a Pikachu. So is that Ash? Is that Ash? So Professor Oak is dead. There is no Professor Oak. So I think that's supposed to be Ash or Red. Are you also staying here? Cool, we can be friends. I think the four of us are going to make the same excursion to the native cemetery. Let's make a team. Yes, what fun it is to travel. Hey, Imufuka, let me introduce you to my grandfather. Alright, is it Red or is it Ash? This is a legendary trainer. It's Red? Grandpa, tell them how you became the Kanto champion. So we know that Ash did not become the Kanto champion, so it's Red. It's fucking Red. But that means his Pikachu is still alive, though. So, him and his Pikachu must be like fucking like 100 years old at this point, then. Champion of Kanto? Wait, you're not. The legendary Red? ... My grandfather is a person of a few words, but deep down, he is really nice. It is Red. Yo, his Pikachu must be fucking ancient then. The other day, he bought me ice cream from Porcelanatos. It's his old Pikachu that's getting old. Don't touch his nose too much, or you'll get hit with a thunderbolt. Did I hear Red? Was that the cry of a Pikachu? The famous Red is here? Hello, Mufuka. I have stayed here to continue gathering information for my documentary on the natives of Kefera. Well, have you come to a good place? There's a cemetery here that my people built. I'd love to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Well, it's been many years since I've lived among my people. I'm something of a deserter. I don't know if I'm the best person to be in your documentary. I'm sure you are. You're also a friend of Imufuka, right? That already makes you an interesting person. Oh, but isn't Red? We really have Red at this hotel. Please grant me an interview. I promise to be kind and treat you very gently. Mr. Red, wait! That's what I call looking for the news. My grandfather is used to these things. Once, he had to dress as a woman to go unnoticed. Well, shall we go to the native cemetery now? Yes! We're sure to have a great adventure together. So it's red with a beard. That's cool. God damn. They should, like, have the staircase, like, lead off on the same part of the screen. Instead, like, it's, like, shifted. It's, like, backwards, so I keep holding in the same direction, so I keep going back and forth. It's like Resident Evil tank controls, because Resident Evil 1 and 2, they had, like, the fixed camera. So a lot of times, if you held up to move, the next, like, area, the camera is, like, backwards, because it's fixed, and then, like, you end up, like, going back the way you came. When I was little, I read a book about the cemetery. Maybe I can guide you to everything. In principle, it is assumed that there is no dangerous Pokemon in the vicinity. And if you run into danger, I'll be there to save you. So, he said his name was Vermilion in the previous dialogue. But then, like, here, it says Vermilion. So I don't know if that's a typo or not. Is it Vermilion or Burmillion? What a beautiful place. Supposedly the great matriarchs and the great shamans of the past were buried here. Okay, so look at it, it's Vermilion. This says Vermilion, so I guess Vermilion is a typo. Well, I don't see anyone buried here. Where are the bodies and the tombstones? They are in the urns. The natives of this area burn the dead. The truth is that it's cleaner that way. Oh, I see. Grandpa, that's what we could do with you when you kick the bucket. Let's keep going. I want to see more of this fascinating culture. Guess that's the right way to go. I need rock climb. All right. Too many JRPGs that I played, so like I had just like this reflex to save like every 5 minutes. What is that weird drawing on the wall? It's giving off a bad vibe. I think I've read this. It is a representative of a great spirit, a creator deity, in which the natives believe. And even today, there are many people who still believe in him. Many festivals are held in his honor in the West. Wow, I didn't know that. According to the myth, the Great Spirit is responsible for bringing the Pokemon into this world. Okay. I have to say that, like, half of the mainstream Pokemon games, there's always, like, a legendary who is responsible for, like, being the Pokemon god or something. Not just Arceus. And then, like, fan games do this too. Like, I played so many fan games where, like, all the legendaries, there's always one legendary where it's like, this is the Pokemon god. It's like, guys, we already have Arceus. Like, can we stop making Pokemon gods? As a fandom, we need to stop making Pokemon gods and just make, like, regular legendary Pokemon. Like, I don't know. Here's a legendary Pokemon born through modern times, so he controls computers or something. Like, I'll be happy with that. I'd be happy with the fucking Digimon wannabe, basically. But this is basically like another Arceus. It is also said that he was the one who taught humans to understand Pokemon and to be able to train them. The Great Spirit left a message for the humans before leaving for his resting place. You humans, you who shiver in the cold of the night, you will never again be afraid. For now you will have friends forever, and you will take care of them while they take care of you. But the day will come when the world will be in grave danger, and you will have to cooperate to save it. On that day, you will demonstrate the power of your bond. Wow, I never ceased to be fascinated by the wealth of myths and legends you have. We settlers were so wicked to destroy all the cultural heritage. But don't blame yourself either. Neither you nor I were there to experience it. And getting back to the subject, I believe there is some truth in all this. That my ancestors contacted something from outer space, which they called the Great Spirit. Pokemon couldn't have come out of nowhere, could they? The theory of evolution has served to explain the appearance of plants, bacteria, and humans, but not the appearance of Pokemon. I mean, why not? I mean, wouldn't Pokemon just evolve from animals? You got the plants, bacteria, and humans. Why not just animals then? Like, why do Pokemon have to be alien? And I'm not saying there's magic involved or anything like that. I'm sure everything has a rational explanation. But there's also so many things we don't know yet. That's cool! When I hear these stories, it makes me want to become a Pokemon professor. Oh! The plot twist. Let me guess. We're gonna recognize it or something? Oh shit, I was not expecting Ghost. You, who have been able to hear the voice of the wind. Yo, we tripping? We tripping. Space. Is that a stock image? I don't know if that's a stock image. That's the legendary Pokemon. Oh, okay then. Beyond the cosmos, beyond space, a cataclysm is coming that will end all life. You know what, bro? I've heard this same speech from a legendary Pokemon, like, in like 9 out of like the 15 Pokemon movies. And like in half of the mainstream games. So, this is kind of on par for course, honestly. Come find Imafuka. Imafuka? Wait, were you there too? Ghost Pokemon! We have to get rid of them. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So it's like, both like the player character and like Gala, like, I guess they have a spiritual connection to the, they have a spiritual connection to the, like the legendary Pokemon, I guess. That's cool. That's cool. Do I have anything for Ghost? Bug was like neutral to Ghost. Bug is not affected to Ghost. Not affected. I guess I'll just keep my starter then. I'll keep this. Oh no, he's been cursed. It failed because he doesn't have enough HP. That's weird, I was faster than that. There are too many. We can't handle so many. Pika! P! Holy shit. Okay, I played enough RPG Maker games to know that that was a stock animation effect. Like, that is super stock. Every RPG Maker game I played has used that effect. That's also like an old one too. Like, that's like from like RPG Maker like XP or something like that. Are you okay? Suddenly you were left behind and we lost sight of you. It turns out that there were wild Pokemon in the area, so I guess I'll have to file a complaint. I don't think it's necessary. We're fine. It was nothing. Did my grandfather's Pikachu save you? It's still strong, It has to be at least level 200 million after so long. It's getting dark and we could use a break. Why don't we go back to the hotel? Where's my fucking rock climb? I still don't have it. What an adventure! I wish I could have battled those Pokemon with you. Do you want to spend some time in the game room at the hotel? I have brought cards. I think I'll go to sleep now. We'll leave it for another time. Today has been a very surprising experience. Are you going to sleep now then? How quickly you adults get tired. We're old, kid. We're not as young as we used to be. Oh, there's a trash can here. Damn. Just trash. Just trash. Is everybody like in the rooms? Oh, they are. I think I'd try to sleep, Imufuka. It's all ghost. I like how no matter like what iteration of Red it is, everyone does the same thing where like Red just doesn't talk. Imufuka, can I come in? I'm sorry. Maybe you were sleeping, but I had to try my luck. We need to talk about what happened in the cemetery. You had those visions too, don't you? I'm sure you did. You had them in Sekiro Town, and you had them again now. I see it too, ever since I was little anyway. A strange Pokemon, in a very cold world with no life in it at all. But lately it's beginning worse. Now my visions are full of pain. I hear screams, and I feel darkness paralyze my whole body. It's a drag. Sometimes I can't even sleep. I'm going to ask you a question. That's going to seem strange, but... Is there anyone in your family who is wrong? Your mother, I see. This cannot be a coincidence. My father is not well either. They had to lock him up. In his delusions, he spoke of a Pokemon that announced the coming of the end of the world. Yeah, okay, so they're not crazy. So her dad and my mom were not crazy, but people think they're crazy. So, like, they put them in the fucking nut house and shit. So that means, like, we can't talk about it either. If we also talk about it, then people will also think that we're crazy. So we better not talk about it then. What if this is all some kind of hereditary disease that runs in our family's blood? But how do we stand up to him? What exactly is this Pokemon trying to tell us? And above all, how do we make it go away? Is there any way to stop this and not end up like our family? I mean, we could just not talk about it, honestly. I can see you're not going to come up with many ideas. Look, Imufuka, I don't want to go crazy. I thought that traveling and changing the scene could cure me. Naive of me. Oh shit! we got like some character art. To me, I'm not good at sharing my emotions with the people. I'm quite a loner. I think it's something I've carried with me since I've had to leave my homeland when I was a little girl. You know what? I like the character art in this game though, because like it feels very reminiscent of like the old Pokemon anime art. Like before it went to Sun and Moon, because Sun and Moon was like the reboot and whatever. So Sun and Moon changed the art style. The art style in this game feels very, very close to like the original anime style. I don't know if the dev for this game was trying to emulate the original anime, but it feels like it to me. It's as if I've been surrounded by strangers my whole life. But now it's different. First time I met someone who was going through a situation similar to mine. What if we are destined to search together for the meaning of this mystery? Don't let me down, Imufuka. Only you can understand me. You will help me, right? They're both two answers of yes! I have no choice, guys. I have no choice. What? Why? Come on, game. If you're gonna give me the choice, let me say no in like one of the timelines, you know? Let me say no in one of the... It's like, listen, girl. I'm sure you got like this destiny to take care of, but me? I just want to fight Pokemon. I just want to throw hands, and I want to be rich, and I want to get bitches and shit. That's all I want in life. I'm not looking for meaning in life. I'm not looking to find my destiny or whatever like that. So you do you, and I'll do me. But nope, we got the whole like Shinji Ikari thing right here, where it's like, get in the fucking robot, Shinji. It's like, no player character could. You must save the world, because you have to. No one else can do it, basically. No one else can do it. Again, I would like to remind everyone that in most of these games, we are either playing like a 10-year-old character, or at the very most, like a 14-year-old character. So like, we're not an adult in most of these games. I think I've only played like maybe like 2 Pokemon fan games where you were not a teenager. Like you were like actually like an adult character, like in their 20s and like 30s or something. Most of the time, you're either like a teenager or like you're a preteen. You're never a full adult. And looking at the cleavage on Gala, and I'm not trying to be perverted here, I mean, either she's a big titty teen or she is an adult character. It's hard to tell with anime, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell in anime because like you actually have like middle school characters with like fucking like G-cup boobs and shit. Honestly, I think Nagima is like the worst offender of this, because like at least high school animes, like I could kind of get behind like a high school girl having like double D cups or like larger than that and shit, you know? Like I know like a lot of like ecchi high school animes, they have like H cup boobs and shit. But like in Nagima though, there are like fucking like H cup, G cup boob girls in Nagima, and Nagima is middle school girls. I think Chizuru was like the largest titty character in that manga, and like they're all middle schoolers. They're all fucking middle schoolers. So like, if Chizuru has like that big of tits as in the middle school, she's gonna be fucking banging in the high school. God damn. How old are you in the Team Rocket ROM? I think in that one you're also like a teenager. Like at the very least you're like 15 or 16 in that one at least. I'm pretty sure you're not an adult in that one. It's been a while since I looked at that one, but like, yeah, most of the ones I remember, you're always like either a teenager or like you're a preteen. Very rarely are you ever like an adult character. And honestly, like I think a large portion of these games could be very good if you were an adult character, just to follow like more adult themes and shit. I think Pokemon Uranium could have been better if you played as an adult character, just because Pokemon Uranium was pretty dark at times. And also for me, like I'm a sucker for like very classic like JRPG storytelling with like, you know, the classic knight and the classic princess romance or something. I'm a sucker for that. And I don't think I played a single Pokemon game that had a romance subplot. I don't think I have. I have played some Pokemon like fan-made games where like there was like a hint of like a crush from like your rival or something, but like that's all like it ever goes to though. It never like blooms into romance, and I think like I would love to see that from like a fan-made game. The only problem with that is that like Pokemon, ever since Generation 2, has done the whole like pick your gender thing. Like you had to be a boy and a girl. And if you were to do like a romance subplot, where is the ROM where you play as Larry? I mean, like in Pokemon like Omega Ruby and like Alpha Sapphire, there was like that, the post game. That's what I was trying to say. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there was that post game that was like very adult-like, where like you almost played as like that adult girl, basically. I don't know like how Larry would work out though, but like I have seen some people play around with the idea that Larry is actually like an isekai character. Like Larry comes from like the regular world, and then Larry got isekai into the Pokemon world. I've seen a few people play around with that idea. That'd be kind of cool, honestly. But yeah, like I can understand like why we don't ever see romance stories in Pokemon fan games because of the whole choose your gender thing. So like they had to make the story kind of gender neutral. If there is going to be like a romance subplot, you basically either have to make like 2 written stories, or you have to just lock your player character into either being male or female. And I don't think anybody wants to do that. I mean, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, Pokemon Insurgents, to pick one. Pokemon Insurgents almost has like 2 different scripts. Pokemon Insurgents gives you a choice at the very start of the game. You can either choose the mature version, which is like the real story, and then you could choose like the family-friendly version. In the family-friendly version, it's like Team Aqua, it's like Team Rocket and shit, and then like nobody gets hurt. But like in the regular story, it's cults, and the cults, they do like human sacrifices, and like the leaders and captains of these cults, they're very mean, and they kill their own subordinates. Like in the opening cutscene for Team Insurgents, like the one of like the captains in Team in Aqua Cult, she got mad and she killed one of the subordinates, and like there's like a little blood spill like on that spot or something. But then like in like the family-friendly version of the story, because like I did replay the beginning part again just to see, she doesn't kill him, but she just beats him up. She beats him up and he's unconscious. So the writers for Team Insurgents technically wrote 2 different scripts for that game. But like it's mostly the same story though. If there was going to be a fan-made Pokemon game with actual romance, and they were to allow you to pick your gender, then like one way they would be able to do it then, I guess, is that like if you pick male, then like the game would give you a female rival, and if you pick female, the game would give you like a male rival, and then your rival would fall in love with you or something. Or maybe it doesn't have to be your rival. Maybe it could also just be like a secondary character that's not your rival that falls in love with the main character or something. Again, like it would go based off like who you pick as your gender, and then like that character would be more important on your playthrough. So the game would technically have replayability by you going back to play a new game and picking the opposite gender or something. Maybe you could also pick like different starters or something. I don't know. Again, though, it sounds like you're making 2 different games, and that's the problem. I think a lot of people just don't want to do that, obviously. I know that Western RPGs do this a lot more than JRPGs do, though, because like Western RPGs like to do the whole choose your own adventure kind of thing, and they allow you to pick different genders but still have romance though. But like these games are like multi-million-dollar games though, and they have multiple writers to do that shit, and then they have like multiple voice actors. I'm usually not a big fan of Western RPGs, but like one of my favorite Western RPGs is Dragon's Age Origin. In Dragon's Age Origin, you get to pick your gender, and you get to pick your race. Like, you could pick, like, male elf, or, like, female human, or, like, female dwarf or something. And you would have romance, like, regardless of what gender you pick. And you could basically romance, like, any of your party members. There is 2 party members that are bisexual, so, like, you can romance them, like, regardless of whether or not you're a boy or girl. And then the other party members are straight, so you could only romance them if you're picking, you know, the opposite gender, whatever like that. Dragon Age Origins is a really good Western RPG. I've never streamed it before, but like, I think it's one of the better ones, even though I normally don't play Western RPGs. It has a ton of replayability because like, you could always start a new game and pick a different gender and a different race and just romance somebody else. And you could also get like different party members too, because it's impossible to get every party member in the game in one playthrough, because some party members don't like other party members, and they won't join if somebody else is in the party already. So you need to skip a party member if you want to have somebody else like in that party. So like, yeah, like it's very big. It's a very big Western RPG, but again, it's like $1 million RPG though, and I don't think that's something I'm ever going to see in a fan-made Pokemon game. I think Pokemon Insurgents is as close as I ever get to a Pokemon game that feels like a fan-made Pokemon game that feels like it could be a main game. Pokemon Insurgents feels like the developers really did like go all in. Like they would go home from their day job and they just would work on the game for free, for free. And, you don't really see a whole lot of passion projects turn out like that. I mean, again, Pokemon Uranium was good too, but I think Pokemon Uranium was made like one guy, so there's like only so much that he could do. But it was still a really good game though. And then like I did stream Pokemon Xenoverse. That game was alright, I guess. Probably not like the best fan-made Pokemon game I've ever played, but it was pretty decent. So far in Pokemon Opalo, not to be like a Debbie Downer or like negative Nancy, so far this does feel very rudimentary to me. I've seen so many people praise this game, and I haven't seen anything about this game that stands out. I don't know if it's because people just like maybe like the more, maybe like the older audience storyline that it's telling, possibly. No. I've also said this before too in a previous stream, but maybe people praise this game because it's old school and not because it actually does anything different. Because being different isn't always a good thing. So maybe that's why people did praise it, because it feels like a regular Pokemon game and it's not trying to be anything different. But for me, that's not what I look for in a fan-made Pokemon game. I look for differences. If I wanted to play like a regular Pokemon game, I would just play one of the mainstream games. So like, I want to play Pokemon fan-made games that actually are different, or they actually try to do different things. So yeah, this game is not it's not wowing. I'm a little underwhelmed right now. But maybe I'm not the target audience. No. I'm looking for different, but it's not different. It's the same. But the same is not bad though. It's good for a lot of people. Maybe that's why they praised it. I have no idea if this music being played right now is original or if it's an RPG Maker music. RPG Maker does have some pretty good music though. It does. It does have some pretty good music. Oh shit, she actually has facial expressions. I actually was not expecting that. Normally, like, in these fan-made Pokemon games, like, characters only have, like, one expression, Great, you can also count on me for whatever you need. Now I am more sure than ever. It was the blessing of the Great Spirit that made us meet. Now, again, I don't know how old, like, Gala is supposed to be, but, like, I'm kind of judging this just based off, like, how tall she is, and, like, how she kind of has, like, an hourglass figure, and how she has big tits. So I'm going to assume Gala is actually an adult character, which is one thing that I don't like because she's not the same age as the player character. The player character in this game is definitely a teenager, and we're younger than her. I would like it if the player character was the same age as Gala. Either like we'd both be adults or we would both be teenagers. That way, like, I feel like there'd be more of a connection between the two. And it seems like that Gala does have like a troubled past. So, like, I would wish for the player character to be able to interact with her more about that. But I'm probably asking too much from a fan-made Pokemon game. And that probably stems from the fact that, like, I do like old-school RPG storytelling. I like it when games take themselves seriously, and I'm actually usually not a fan of games that break the fourth wall. Like, Hyperdimension Neptune, for example. When I played the original Hyperdimension Neptune back in the day on the PS3, the whole fourth wall breaking thing, it was cute the first time, right? Like, it's the first, like, RPG, like game of its kind that Idea Factory made, and, like, Idea Factory never knew the series would take off like it did. But then, like, I feel like they kind of flanderized, like, a lot of the characters, and, like, Neptune is basically, like, a walking fourth wall breaking comedy character now, and, like, I don't like that anymore about her. I find Neptune, like, just, like, stupid. Like, I find her, like, such a dumb character now. Because that's all she is. She's all just references at this point. And I think she's been heavily flanderized. Because I do think that Hyperdimension Neptune 1 was closer to old school RPG storytelling, where, like, the game took itself seriously within its own universe. But then after that, Idea Factory decided to go the comedy route. And I don't like that, the route that they took for that. I tend to like Idea Factory's side RPGs that take themselves more seriously, but unfortunately their side RPGs, like, they're one-offs though. They usually, like, never get sequels. I think Fairy Fencer was, like, the only one that ever got sequels, because I guess Fairy Fencer was, like, loved enough that they wanted to make more Fairy Fencer games. But I'm looking at this, though, and the music, like, with this conversation with Gala, it's making me wish that this Pokemon game was, like, a real RPG. Not just, like, a, you know, like, a animal raising simulator, essentially. Because that's what Pokemon games are, right? Pokemon games are basically like a catch-em-all monster collector game. And I guess it wouldn't be a Pokemon game if it wasn't that. Because, call me crazy, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, I like Pokemon Gale of Darkness. I like Pokemon Gale of Darkness. I like Pokemon, I forgot what's it called. It's not Pokemon Stadium. It's something. It's called something else. It's called, like, Pokemon Coliseum or something. I think the full title is Pokemon Coliseum something Darkness, and then Gale of Darkness was a sequel to that, or whatever. Those are the only two Pokemon RPGs I know in existence. As far as, like, the unofficial Pokemon game is concerned. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a dungeon crawler, so that's different. That's not really an RPG. But Pokemon Coliseum Gale of Darkness is an actual, like, Pokemon RPG. You cannot catch all the Pokemon's games. In fact, I think you can only catch, like, 30 of them. Which is an abysmally small number. Because Pokemon Coliseum Gale of Darkness was meant to be a storytelling RPG game. So it's very narrative, and your character can only catch so many Pokemon, because your character is not meant to be, like, a collector or whatever like that. You're not going to catch 300 Pokemon, because I think by the time that game came out, we were, like, in Pokemon Black and White, I think? I think we were in Gen 4 or Gen 5. I think, if I remember, Gale of Darkness came out when Diamond and Pearl was a thing, so I believe it was a Gen 4 game then. But I liked it, though. I liked it because I was always asking for a Pokemon RPG, one that was actually narrative, but I understand that that's not what the large majority of the fandom wants, because, like, people hated how narrative Sun and Moon was. And they reduced a lot of that narrativeness in Sun and Moon Ultra. Because a lot of people complain about, like, how long the prologue took in Sun and Moon. And not just speedrunners, not just them, but even just regular players who aren't speedrunning the game. Like, this kind of hurts me as an RPG player, because I care about story. I've seen so many streamers and YouTubers, and I don't know they're exaggerating. I feel like they're not, but, like, I've seen so many streamers play through Sun and Moon, because this is, like, where a lot of the problem comes from. And they're just mashing the A button. And they're like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, Professor Kukui is talking, Lily's introducing herself and shit, and they're just, like, mashing the A button. They're like, oh my god, shut up, stop talking, or whatever. And, like, I'm not gonna say that triggers me, but I am kind of, like, thinking to myself, like, it's the same kind of streamers that, like, are playing, like, a Final Fantasy game, and Final Fantasy is definitely, like, a narrative RPG, and they're mashing through the X button. They're mashing through the confirm button to go skip the dialogue. And they're like, I don't care. And then, like, halfway through the game or something, you know, like, the princess character confesses her love to the main character. And then, like, that same streamer's all like, wait, why is she confessing her love? I don't get it. Like, did something happen between these two? Like, did they like each other? And it's like, I mean, if you were paying attention to the story, you would have seen, like, the hints and everything. How much they like each other. But these streamers are skipping the story, and all of a sudden when something major happens in the cutscene, then they're confused or something. And that kind of makes me angry. You know, it's like, why are you playing the game then? You know? Like, if you didn't want to play an RPG for the story, then play a first-person shooter. Play any other fucking genre that's not story-based. I mean, I kind of know the real answer why, though. It's probably because that game was trending, and they are professional streamers, so they had to play it, I guess. But then, like, these are the people that don't like story-heavy games, though. I guess I will say it triggers me when I see people play those games. And I'm not gonna say something like, oh, it's like white streamers or anything like that. No, like, I've seen streamers of all races do this. It's just, some people don't like story games, and some people do. I'm one of those people that like story games, and I really want a story-heavy related Pokemon game. And I don't think that exists, and I don't think that's ever going to exist, as far as mainstream is. That's gonna have to be a fan-made game, basically. Story, there's Pokeballs to pick up. Like, I think the most story-heavy related Pokemon game I could think of, besides Pokemon Colosseum Gale of Darkness, is, there was also like a side game, which was not made by Game Freak, actually. It was made by Intellivision? I forget the name of the side company, but like, there's another company that was allowed to make a Pokemon game, and they made Pokemon Conquest. And Pokemon Conquest was a DS game. It was actually a strategy RPG. It's a Fire Emblem. It's literally Fire Emblem Pokemon. And that game is very story-heavy. And guess what? Your Pokemon character is only allowed to have, like, one Pokemon. Like, for almost the entire story. Just one. You have an Eevee. You literally have just that Eevee. And then your Eevee could be, you know, it could evolution to, like, any of the Eevees. But in Pokemon Conquest, the way they do the story is that, like, every trainer has just one Pokemon. Just one. And that's supposed to be, like, your partner Pokemon. Like, it's kind of like Digimon in a way, because in Digimon, Digidestin only have, like, one partner. And, like, it's a rarity if you see someone have, like, two Digimon partners. In Pokemon Conquest, you're only allowed to have, like, the one Pokemon, and your Pokemon partner is Eevee. So, it's very scripted. Now, you do get to have more Eevees later on in the story, but that's, like, way later in the story, though. For a majority of the story, you have just the one Eevee. And then, like, it's a Fire Emblem game, technically. So, like, you do have, like, other Pokemon to control, but it's technically not the player character's Pokemon, though. It's other characters' Pokemon. So, like, there's a girl in your party, so she has a Jigglypuff, so her Jigglypuff's also on the field, too. So, like, you're playing like a commander, essentially, and you're commanding the units to, like, go and fight other ones. It's a pretty good game, actually, if you're into, like, turn-based strategy game. And if you like Fire Emblem. It's Pokemon Fire Emblem, essentially. Pretty good, but it's also very narrative. There is no catching Pokemon in it. I mean, to be fair, there's no catching Pokemon in Mystery Dungeon either, but, like, I guess people like Mystery Dungeon more so than, like, these Pokemon games. Funny enough, as far as fan-made Pokemon games are concerned, the most story-heavy ones I played is actually Moimon variants. Unfortunately, I have not played a single one that's been finished. Like, they're all demos, or they're all, like, halfway made, and then the maker of it, they gave them on the project. Like, the project's still there for people to download, but then they have, like, one last post from, like, 2019, or 3 years ago or some shit, or 2 years ago, and they're like, hey guys, I'm giving up on the project because, like, I just don't feel it no more. But, like, I'll keep it here for people to download if they want. But, like, it's funny because these Moimon games, they're very story heavy, actually. And, like, I guess to be fair also, a lot of these Pokemon games, these Moimon games, you're always playing as a male character. Like, you don't even get the option to pick a gender. You're just male at the very start. And it's almost like the developers or, like, you know, like the fan makers of these games, it's because they're making it, you know, it's by a horny male otaku for other horny male otakus. Cause it's Moimon, right? It's Moimon. So they figured that, like, no girls want to play their game anyway. So you play as a guy character always. And then, like, the Moimons are basically your harem. And, like, you get to, like, either sex them up if it's, like, that kind of Moimon game, or maybe you don't sex them up, but, like, they love you, though. They love you from, like, you know, an actual, like, human interaction kind of love. And there's actually story, like, related to that. And it's weird. These Morimon games are very story heavy, but like no one ever finishes them. And I think it's just because like Morimon is like a subgenre of a subgenre of fan Pokemon games. It's like a niche of a niche. So there's not enough people that like Morimon enough to do like a full Morimon story game, I guess. Because like there is one Morimon game that like I've played and it's still not finished because like it's the developer who's making it, like he's very slow to work on it. And like certain Pokemon, not only they have like dating scenes, they actually have like either like sex scenes with them or like it's implied sex, like, you know, it's like a Fade to Black or something like that. But they have like a full cutscene though, like they have like drawn art and everything. And these scenes are actually like very story heavy. And they're really good too. Like they're not cringy, or at least in my opinion, they're not cringy. Maybe like I'll stream one of them on stream someday. But like there is this one where it's like it's your Charizard. It's only for certain Pokemon because obviously, how would you make a dating scene for like every Pokemon, right? We have over like 1,000 Pokemon now, so it's only like for certain like final evolved Pokemon, and it's probably gonna be like the favorites of like the developer. But there's one I play where it's like it's a Charizard. And your Charizard is like your source of warmth, basically. Like your character gets trapped in a mountain. It's like an icy cold mountain, and you're cold. And then your waifu Charizard, like, bundles up with you, whatever. And, like, it's very, like, romantic and shit. But, like, there's one with the Gardevoir, though. And, like, this one was really good, though. Like, this Gardevoir... So you, the player character, gets kidnapped, actually. You get basically jumped by like Team Rocket, or like, you know, like this game's equivalent of like Team Rocket. You get jumped, and like Gardevoir, if you remember the Pokedex entry, Gardevoir is very protective of like its trainer, and Gardevoir senses like the hostile intent from like the Team Rocket members, and the Team Rocket members, they're actually trying to kill you. Like it's not kid friendly. Like they're trying to use like their Scyther to like fucking kill you and shit. And Gardevoir, she gets very angry, and she uses like her black hole abilities to like kill like the Team Rocket members and the Scyther and shit. And then she gets scared at like her own power, and then she actually leaves you. Like I was not expecting it. Like there's like a whole scene or whatever. I'm giving you guys like the very abridged version of this, but like there's like a whole scene. She protects you from like the Team Rocket members and whatever, and then like she's scared because like there's so much blood, and like she's killed like so many people and shit all at once. And of course, like you're her trainer, and like you're not scared of her. You're trying to tell her you're not scared, but like she's afraid that she'll hurt you because she loves you so much. And then like she runs away from you. And then like your Pokeball, like it deactivates or something. So like you have a Pokeball that says Gardevoir's Pokeball in your key items now. And like she's gone. And then like I'm here going like, is she gone forever? Like did I just lose my like level 50 Gardevoir or something? Like am I not gonna get her back? So there's like a second part of this whole thing. So like you play the game a little bit more until you get to like a certain city. And this is technically a side quest because like the whole Pokemon dating mechanic is more of like an extra thing for this Morimon game. It's not part of the main story at all. So like you have to actually talk to NPCs to kind of like understand like where these special cutscenes happen. And in one of these cities, some of the NPCs tell you about like a special Pokemon shrine that helps you like connect with Pokemon or something, or it's a ho-ho that can like grant your wish. And you go to like this shrine, and you're like, I want to be together with Gardevoir again, but I don't know where she is. I can't see her. And then the ho speaks to you because you know he's a legendary Pokemon, so like you know he's like he can speak English or whatever. He's like that's a very selfish wish. What if she doesn't want to see you anymore or something, whatever like that. And like then like he challenges you to like a fight, and he's all like, if you can beat me, then like I'll grant your wish or something like that, you know. And then like this is actually a fight you're supposed to lose, surprisingly. Like you can't win. You can't fucking win. So like he beats you, and then Gardevoir like appears out of nowhere, but she looks different though. She's like emo Gardevoir. Like she's like got like, because like the shiny version of Gardevoir is like blue and white, and the regular version is like green and white. But this is like black and white because that's how the developer colored her and shit. she's like emo Gardevoir, and she's like, keep away from my trainer, like that. And like, she's like a lost soul or something like that, Hoa said. And like, to give you the abridged version, like, long story short, like, after like a whole bunch of cutscenes and shit, like, you find out that Gardevoir is like dying or something, and Ho-Ho is all like, I can bind your soul to like her soul, and you guys can stay together, but like, just know that like this is like a permanent thing, and then once I do it, like, there's no turning back or something. And Gardevoir doesn't want you to do it, because, you know, she's like, oh, like, I'm still scared, and like, I don't want to hurt you, whatever like that, but like, you keep fighting though, you keep fighting for it, and like, and, you know, you keep doing it, and then eventually, like, you get soul bonded to, like, Gardevoir or whatever like that. And, like, now, like, she's in the Pokédex entry as, like, a different kind of Gardevoir now. And then, like, Gardevoir's Pokéball, it stays in your key items, but now, like, the description changes, because it says, like, Gardevoir is back with you now. And now you have, like, this new, like, emo variant of, like, Gardevoir, like, in your party or something. And she has, like, different abilities, too. Because, like, if I remember right, her typing changes. She's like Dark Psychic, which is like kind of cool, I think. But yeah, like that's just like, that's what I like to see. Like that's what I want to see in Pokemon Fangame games. I just want to see like more story shit. It doesn't necessarily have to be like ecchi stuff or like harem shit or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like that, but I just want to see just more story, and that's why I like Pokemon Uranium, because I think Pokemon Uranium had a great story. Even if it is maybe a little bit generic in like some parts, because everyone wants to emulate Pokemon, but like they don't want to like veer too far away from the formula of Pokemon, I guess. Because I don't even know like how popular a narrative Pokemon game would be with the fellow fandom. You know, like maybe people would make fun of me for it if I were to make my own thing or something, but I don't know. It's something that, like, I've always entertained the idea of doing. Like, I kind of want to give it a try. Because I have a lot of ideas from, like, my own Pokemon, you know? Although, at this point, I probably want to do a Moimon-style game then, and not a Pokemon collector game. Like, just more Moimon then. So, it would be, like, Ecchi Harem or something. But yeah, like, that's, like, Charizard and Gardevoir. And there's other Pokemon, too, that, like, this developer did for, like, dating. Like, he also did, like, Mawile, which is, like, that Steel-type thing. He also did, like, Venusaur and, like, Blastoise. Like, he did, like, the first 3 starters, like, for dating scenes. If I remember right, he also did, like, Persian, which is the evolved version of Meowth. And he did, like, I think 16 Pokemon, basically. And then after that, like, I think that's where it is right now. I think he also did Lucario. I think Lucario is one of them. And I think you can play the game up to, like, the 2nd gym leader, and that's about it. That's as far as he's worked on. And it's too bad, though. It's too bad that, like, he hasn't worked on more in the game, because I don't know, like, how much free time this guy has, obviously. I don't know his life. Like, it's very interesting, and I like interesting for these fan-made Pokemon games. But I also, I don't want to play edgy Pokemon games for the sake of being edgy, though, because I've seen a lot of edgy Pokemon fan-made games. Like, games that, like, have, like, death and destruction and rape or whatever like that or something, and, like, super duper, like, emo dark. Like, that's not a good game anymore, in my opinion. Now it's just gore porn. It's just dark for the sake of being dark. Like, I need to have, like, actual substance now. You're just doing it because it's different or something. And then there is some horror. There are some horror Pokemon games out there, which, of course, I've never personally played, but they seem interesting. But you guys know that I don't play horror games, so I'm never going to stream those. But I will read about them, and I'll be all like, that's interesting, but I'm never going to play it. I know that this is one popular one where, like, you play as a detective. It's adult. You're actually like an adult detective. You're not like a teenager or something. And you're actually not a Pokemon trainer. So you're like it's a horror Pokemon game. It kind of plays like Resident Evil in a way, like you know, like 2D Resident Evil, if I want to say that, because it's made in RPG Maker 2, I think. But like, you have a gun, and again, you're not a Pokemon trainer, so you basically use your gun to fight Pokemon with. And like, it's like spoiler, like at the very end of the game, you fight like this mutant Pokemon or something, and it's like a Hydra, and you have like a shotgun or something by then. Again, it's like very like Resident Evil style, and you have to fight this Pokemon. But again, you're not a trainer, so you're basically fighting like this fake legendary Hydra Pokemon with like guns and rockets and grenades, basically. And then like at the very end of the game, you leave the city finally, and like I think the city is like, it goes under lockdown, and the government's are like, this city is too fucked up. We're just gonna fucking nuke it or something because like there's too many like radiated Pokemon or some shit. Because then the player character, like, you tell the government like, yo, I just fought like zombie Pokemon and I fought like a Hydra Pokemon. I don't think there's such a thing as a Hydra Pokemon. It had like 9 heads or something. And the government's like, oh shit, yeah, that's not normal. Not fucking normal. So we're gonna fucking nuke it or something. Basically, it's like Parasite. It's like Silent Hill. That's what it. Oh, it's Silent Hill or something. The Silent Hill Pokemon game. Yeah. Again, interesting, but I wouldn't play it. But that would be a story-heavy game though, since you're not a trainer. That would be a story-heavy game that I want. It's horror though, so obviously I wouldn't want to play it. But I would like a non-horror, like story-related game. One where you preferably play as an adult character, and like where you're not a teenager, and you're not just a preteen or something. I don't want to keep on playing as like these 10-year-olds who like fend off against Team Rocket or Team Aqua, Team Magma, or whatever. An actual adult character who is like ready to throw hands with like terrorists or something. Maybe get into like some romance hijinks with like the rival character. I don't fucking know. And that's just because I'm a sucker for like romance subplots anyway, but I just want like heavy story sometimes. If I want heavy story, like Final Fantasy like delivers that to me, and like as far as like other Square RPGs would do it too. I feel like these days for me anyway, it's hard for me to find more story heavy RPGs because it almost feels like every RPG right now is trying to be like funny, haha, like break the fourth wall or something. That's why like I still like Tales of games, because like Tales of Arise, Tales of Berseria, Tales of Abyss, Tales of Eternia. I forget what the new Tales of games is. Is that Tales of Arise? I think that was the latest one. Like, Tales of games take themselves seriously. It's your standard, like, JRPG. And there's nothing wrong with standard. And that's what I like about it. Like, here is a story of a mage, of a knight character. Here's a story of this girl who used to be God and she became human or something. And now she's on Earth and she has to go and save the world or some shit. And maybe she'll meet friends along the way or something. There's no like fourth wall breaking in like Tales of games, just standard JRPG, and I like that. I like that, you know, just go and save the world. Boy meets girl, maybe there's a romance subplot or something, and maybe they fall in love at the end of the game or something. I like that. I like that kind of thing. There was no romance subplot in Tales of Berseria, but there's usually like a romance subplot in like most of the other Tales of games. Come to think of it, I think that's actually like 9 times out of 10, there is usually a romance subplot in Tales of games. I think Berseria was like the one exception to that. Because in Berseria, the main character is a female character. I think Berseria was the first time you played as a female main character in the Tales of series. And like, Velvet has no romance subplot with anybody. So, like, you just kind of go through the game just doing. And for me, that's actually the weakest of the stories for all the Tales of games. Not because I think Velvet's a bad character, but more so, I just felt like the ending kind of sucked. To avoid spoilers, I thought the ending sucked, and I didn't like how the team was not really a team, to put it mildly speaking. It was more like a merry band of pirates that just happened to come together because like they all had the same goal basically, but like they never really became allies, so to speak. It's more like we're together for the sake of convenience, basically. And that's how I felt about the characters. And it's like, if the characters don't care, then why do I care, basically? I basically felt no attachment to like the Tales of Berseria characters. And while I do think the story is fine, and the general art style is fine, and the character designs are okay, the overall plot doesn't do it for me. It just wasn't really there. I guess I prefer the more traditional storytelling. Tales of Berseria tried to do something different, and I just don't think it was the good kind of different. But you know what? Being different's okay once in a while. Now, like, I have a good example of a Tales of game that tried to be different, and it just didn't quite work out. There is also, like, another Tales of game, too, that also tried to be different, and it's also considered, I think, the second least popular Tales of game, and that is Tales of Graces. Tales of Graces, the romance subplot is not a subplot. The romance is the main plot of the game. And I think maybe the story writers didn't tell it well enough. And I think that's why it's like the second least favorite game of a lot of people. For me, it's probably like one of my top 5, honestly. Just because like I do like the romance parts of RPG. And since this romance was like the main plot of the story, I liked it. And I thought the characters were fine. But I could see why a lot of people didn't like it though. And probably because maybe the writers, maybe it was their first time concentrating more on the romance and less about the overall world building or something. Because, again, almost every Tales of game has a romance subplot, but Tales of Graces was, I think, the first one that had it as the main driving force of the story. So basically, like, with the female main lead, she was basically like a damsel in distress kind of character, and maybe that's why people didn't like her as much. They were hoping she'd be like a stronger character, I guess. She was very like traditional Nadeshiko Japanese like waifu, basically. She was very soft-spoken, she was very quiet, and like, you know, she gets kidnapped and then we have to go and save her and shit. And also she's a healer. It's like, how stereotypical can you get, right? Like, the main character is like your knight, and she's like the priestess healer character, which is like basically like old school RPG gender roles, you know? The guy is always the knight and the girl's always the healer. So maybe people thought it was like way too traditional with its choices for party members or something. I mean, for me, I never really noticed it until people pointed out though. It's all like, oh yeah, you're right, he's a knight and she's a healer. I mean, like, I don't give a shit, but maybe people wanted something different. I don't know. This has been a very rant-heavy stream. This is like the second major rant, and I spent like 30 minutes on like one screen. We can still compete to see who the trains their Pokemon best, though. Anyway, it's getting very late. We better go to bed. Next morning. It's kind of hard to, again, it's hard to tell the ages of the characters just because of the anime style of it, but if our character is not a teenager, she could be a young adult, but Gala does seem older than us, though. I honestly can't tell if Gala's supposed to be the same age as us. I mean, if I look, like, right here, it's like, I do see, like, some boobie on the female character. I do see some titty, but then again, to be fair, there's also some titty on, like, May and on Hilda, from Black and White and from Ruby and Sapphire. So I think if I remember right, girls do develop faster than boys do from, like, a puberty standpoint. So I guess the boobs isn't really, like, the most defining feature for me to try and guess their ages on. And all women have different breast sizes anyway, so, like, it's kind of a moot point. But, like, usually, though, larger breasts does at least indicate most of the time an older woman, though. At least usually. But yeah, not all the time, though. Sometimes it's jailbait. Sometimes it's jailbait. But yeah, I literally can't tell if our character is meant to be an adult or a teenager. Because Gallus seems like an adult. Okay, I think everybody's downstairs. I guess they're outside. Well, it's time to say goodbye, right? So it seems, at least for now. Ah, Umafuga, did you know? I'm convinced my grandfather to sign me up for the Kefira Gym Challenge. From now on, I am a trainer. Which means we are now official rivals. Alright, the more the merrier. Where I'm going ahead, next gym is in Kaleen City. We will go south to challenge the easier leader. Now you can make an effort, because I will not stop doing it. Nitika. I don't know if that's like a real word, or that's like made up that the developer put in. Mr. Red, please, before we say goodbye, will you be kind enough to make a poor rookie journalist happy, please? Why don't you tell me about some hidden romance from your youth? Oh, Red has no romance. Red doesn't pick up chicks. Oh, Grandpa, you can tell him about the Sinnoh region champion. Answer me that, and I'll leave you alone, Mr. Red. But don't leave me lying here, Grandpa. Wait. Oh, shit. It just dawned on me. So, like, if Red has a grandchild, I guess that means he did hook up with somebody. The last time we saw Red was in Sun and Moon, and Red and Green were, like, adults in that game. Alright, so this pathway should be open up. Yep. So that city had a whole lot of nothing in it. It was just there for the cutscene. And there was a lot of places there that I didn't have access to because, like, I don't have rock climb. Holy shit, is that a lumberjack? He looks fucking beefy. Can't fucking tell which is the right way. Dearling! Fun fact, the Great Ball in Pokemon Gen 1, like in the real Gen 1, not in the remakes, is actually better than the Ultra Ball. So just use the Great Ball on everything. A lot of the formulas in Generation 1 were fucked up. They were like so bad. It is a lumberjack. Applin, that's a sword and shield Pokemon. It's a dragon. I know it doesn't look like a dragon, but it's a dragon. Breloom. I had to like remember what a fucking Breloom is. Yeah, there it is. I had to like remember. I legit could not remember. Aquatail? Let me see. 75, 95, 95, 90. Yo, like, Kefarian looks like it has, like, fucking earpods in. Or, like, it looks like it has, like, you know, like, the headphone earpiece things. Earbuds. Am I going the right way? So left goes to the Indigo Forest and right goes to Kaleen City. I guess the question is, like, do I want to go into the forest now or do I go to the city first? I guess I want to go to the city first. So like it's a fork in the road. So like I guess they're technically both correct because the game is probably gonna force me to go to the Indigo Forest anyway. So I might as well go to the city then. Zangoose does not have an evolution, and that's kind of a crime. It should have an evolution. Zangoose is kind of a cool Pokemon. I have not found, like... Oh, shit, this is the wrong way to go. Ouch, how long will the suffering last? What's up? My son disappeared in Indigo Forest. Ah, there it is. There it is. So yes, the game will force me to go to the forest no matter what. Yeah, so like I'm going. So like, I don't even know like why this guy exists to trade Pokemon. He says he'll give you a Pokemon, he'll trade you with any Pokemon, and he'll give you one of similar value. So, I guess he's just there to complete the Pokedex then? You just give him like something that you want to give away. Like, more fucking trash Pokemon. I haven't found like a good Pokemon to add to my team for a while. Because like, I want to get rid of Chungus. I want to get rid of Diggersby, and I want to get rid of the, Meowth. But I have Meowth mostly just for, like, the type coverage. It still annoys me that Brock caught like, Pineco in the anime with the fastball. Because, like, they're all like, oh, the fastball is good for catching, you know, like, very fast Pokemon. And I'm like, yo, bro, it's a fucking Pinecone. How fast could it be? And it's like, it works, though. But, like, it made me mad because it wasn't really moving that fast, though. But, like, in the anime, like, Pineco's, like, hopping away, basically. Very slowly hopping away, I might add. And, like, you know, Brock is like, oh, like, I gotta use a fastball to catch it because it's so quick. I'm like, bro, it's not fast at all. I feel like that fastball's gonna have, like, a fucking negative effect or something. You're gonna get, like, negative catch rate. I forget what Assurance does. I forget what that does. Damn it. The only reason why I didn't use Aqua Tail twice there was because, like, Aqua Tail only has, like, a 90% accuracy, and I just did not want to miss. But I guess I should have just used it then. A Pinecone that turns into a slow-looking rock. Thanks for the heal. One thing that I always thought would be interesting to do for a Pokemon game would be like, to do like a realistic like Pokemon game where it's like, they don't have like Pokemon centers that like heal instantly. It takes like Pokemon in-game days to heal a Pokemon. So you have to like rotate your team essentially. It would be like a very different kind of combat style, but like, I think if you found a good way to kind of balance it though, I think it'd be a very interesting way to play Pokemon. Like, basically there would be like an in-game day and night system, and like, instead of like regular routes only having like 3 or 4 Pokemon, because that wouldn't give you a whole lot of choices, each route has like maybe like 10 or 20 Pokemon, so that way you actually have a good amount of like Pokemon to switch between two. And then like, again, you go and like use your best team or something, and now they're hurt, and you go to the Pokemon Center, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, hold on to your 6 Pokemon here, and like, it's gonna take like 3 Pokemon days to heal. So you gotta have like a different team now. So like, this means that you're leveling up essentially like maybe like 12, maybe 10 Pokemon at a time, maybe. Because I'm gonna go on to the assumption that most people would have like 2 teams then. Maybe 3 teams if you're crazy. And like, people would just keep having to rotate their Pokemon. And when you go into the next day for a gym leader fight, you need to set it up so that way like your best team can fight the gym leader. Or maybe you don't set it up, but you just waste days then. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm ready to go fight the gym leader. I gotta put my best team in the Pokemon Center. And then I gotta wait like 2 days or something. And I guess I'm just gonna run the clock or something. Because, like, there'd be, like, an in system. So you could go to bed and go to sleep or something. So you could, like, skip time or some shit. I think that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty swag. No instant heals. You gotta heal up those cuts the old-fashioned way. Max repel. Poison jab. I highly doubt that Kefarian can learn poison jab, but I'm gonna check. It cannot. For some reason, my starter can learn a lot of, like, punching moves. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's a fucking fish. It's a fish that learns punching moves. I failed to run away? I actually failed to run away. Oh, god damn it. Oh my god. I probably could have one-shot it if I used Brick Break, but then, like, I was smashing the A button though. Okay, I got fucking wrecked by, like, a random Zangoose. Thank God, like, this rest stop lets me heal. Alright, so I obviously need the levels, so I will go back and fight the Lumberjack that I skipped over here. I mean, I was gonna fight him, but then, like, that Zangoose took out my main Pokemon. You have one Pokemon, and it's a fucking Whimsicott. Oh my god, he got back, like, almost all his HP. Like, my damage did nothing. At least Kefarian is pure flying type. Like, I really hate flying normal. Flying normal is, like, my least favorite double typing. You gotta be kidding me. There we go. What annoys me about flying normal is that, like, you know, flying is supposed to be, like, resistant to fighting type moves, but then, like, now that it's normal typing, so that now flying normal takes, like, normal damage from fighting. It's like, yeah, sure, it gains an immunity to ghost types, I guess, but, like, at the beginning of, like, most Pokemon adventures, you're not fighting ghost types anyway, though. So, like, you're gonna come across more fighting Pokemon than you do ghost types. So, like, the normal immunity, like, it kind of means nothing at that point. Alright. What kind of Pokemon do we got? Somebody fight me. Hypno? Eh. Nah. Not into it. Not into it. Holy shit, that did not do as much damage as I was hoping it would do. I actually was gonna try and capture it, but, like, I just didn't want to use the Quick Ball, though. I was gonna use the regular Pokeball. Holy shit. Wait a minute. That Ariados is different. That is different. So, I think regular Ariados is supposed to be Poison Bug. That is not the regular Ariados. That is a regional variant of Ariados. Ariados is Bug Poison. That looks like it's like Bug Dark or something. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yep, it's dark. It's like bug dark. I don't want to use a quick ball, so I'm just use the ultra ball for this. I'm usually like not a fan of using bug type Pokemon anyway, but like I do think a lot of them have cool designs though. I just wouldn't use them. Oh my god! That was so toxic. I had 10 Great Balls. Might as well use them. Holy shit, are you kidding me? Oh my god, I have 1 HP left. This is the final turn. Final turn. Ultra Ball. Jesus. Signal Beam. Yep, that's better than Bug Bite. Yeah, it's I think that's Bug Dark. I'm gonna have to like look at it. It's in Spanish, so I'm gonna have to look at it in here. Yeah, it's Bug Dark. Bug Dark. Now his stats are lower than Joltik's stats, though. I think. Okay, so like he's more attack orientated, and Galvantula is more special attack orientated. But also his speed sucked though. He had like 40 speed, and Galvantula has 83 speed. So I'd rather take the faster one. Not trying to be a bug trainer here. This place makes my hair stand on end. Let's go battle. Backpacker Uroi challenges you. I brick for this. Thanks for being part ice type. I feel like Body Slam should do more damage if you're a heavier Pokemon. It doesn't though. Body Slam just does regular damage. What the fuck is a Tranquil? I think that's the bird Pokemon? I think that's a bird. Yeah, it's the pigeon. It's the pigeon Pokemon. I'm glad I remembered. I was going off the quill. The quill part is what tipped me off. Can I pick up those mushrooms? Nope, I cannot. It's just part of the scenery. So, like, there's supposed to be, like, that lumberjack sun around here. I assume, like, the lumberjack sun is gonna be, like, at the very tail end of this forest. And, like, I have, like, no choice but to save him. It's not like I could ignore his son or something. I have to save his son because I'm the good guy, you know? I can't just ignore his son. Holy shit, 3,000 monies? You were loaded. Okay, so the next city is a psychic gym leader. Psychic. So basically Sabrina, but wannabe Sabrina. Gloom! So I can either turn Gloom into Violet Plume, or turn Gloom into Blossom. I don't remember if Blossom was so much more better than Violet Plume was. So Blossom is pure grass, and Violet Plume is grass poison. Oh shit! I didn't even know this Farfetch could evolve. Oh my god, wait, did he just turn British? He turned into a fucking royal guard. He turned into Surfetched. Oh wow. Oh shit, I'm fighting. I just completely changed typing because like I was like fighting dark and I was flying dark and now I'm fighting steel. I've completely changed typings. Technician, increase the power of weak attacks. Oh, that's interesting. So that means like multi-hit attacks or better on him. Oh my god, it's Fungus! And Fungus evolves into Among Us. Among Us. Among Us. Nice. I don't have to like waste a quick ball. Damn it! He healed. Okay, I'm still gonna use a quick ball. I'm still gonna use a quick ball. Or quick ball. That's Sir? Sir fetched. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Among Us! Among Us! You know what? Among Us? Among Us is actually meta, though. That's the funny part, though. So, Among Us is actually meta because he has Spore. And Spore is that sleep attack that has 100% accuracy. So, it's actually meta. I'm going back to heal. Going back to heal. Holy shit! I didn't think he was gonna die in one hit. Man, why bother even catching him? He's so weak. Oh, is there not a... Oh, no. Okay, there's not like a move reminder here. So move reminders are only in Pokemon Centers, and this is not a Pokemon Center. So, like, I gotta go back. Oh, that's for nicknames. That's for nicknames. Alright, do I have any like small hit moves I could give him? Slash, Metal Claw, Iron Defense, X Scissor. X Scissor is actually not a bad move. Peck, Sand Attack, Fury Cutter. No, not Fury Cutter. Or wait, Fury Cutter would work. So, Technician is supposed to be like I think up to 30 or 40 attack power. I'm gonna have to look this up. Technician. Let me see. It must be 60 or lower power. Technician increases the power of moves that have power of 60 or less by 50%. So, like, it's also really good on moves that, like, does multi-hits as well. So, Fury Cutter is one of 40, which means it would do 60 damage. And then, like, it'd do more damage the more you use it, so, not really good for that one. Rock Smash, Detect, Knock Off, Defog. Okay, so, like, I don't really have any multi-hit moves for him, so maybe he has to learn it then? I mean, that's what Technician's good for. I just don't have anything for it. $60? 60 or less. So 60 does count. So this makes Air Ace do 90. It'll do 90 base damage, and it will never miss. That's not bad. I don't have a fucking single, like... I actually don't have a single stab move on this guy, though. I do not have a single stab move. Because I lost the flying type. He's not flying type no more. Yeah, he is no longer flying type. Sir Fish forgot how to fly. He's just a knight. He's like a knight character now. He's too heavy to fly. Metal Claw is 60, so it's a 90 base damage. And he didn't actually have any fighting moves, so I had to like use it. I gotta use a TM on him. Oh, can you learn Thunder Punch? You're a fighting type. Can you learn that? He cannot. He can't learn the fucking punch moves, I guess. Poison Jab? He can't. He can't learn it. He can't learn it. I guess to be fair, he doesn't punch. He has like a spear. He's got like a spear thing on him, so I guess he can't learn it then. Alright, he learned Brick Break at least. Technician won't activate on this thing, but like, still though, I want stab moves. This is actually kind of good to be fair, because like, I was worried about having like multiple flying types in the team, since like Farfetch was part flying. But now that Surfetch is steel fighting, he's not flying no more. And Catharion's a flying type, so now like I'm not doubling up on my typings. So it actually kind of works out. It works out for me. Fury Cutter, Thunder Punch, Water Pulse. No. No. I guess that's it. Gonna double check him again. Yeah. No multi-hit moves. So I'm gonna assume he must learn one later on then. So Water Ice. I got Water Ice. Fight and Steel, Normal Fire, Flying, Bug Electric, and Normal Ground. And Diggersby is kind of just here because I have like nothing better to use right now. He is also under-leveled, so I guess I can just kind of replace him with anybody at this point. What is this? Leave Spore on contact. Faint. Get good train. I guess I'm using Gloom. Yep, I'm using Gloom then. This is just filler. Like, I don't think I'm gonna like use her permanently. Just filler. Do I got any stones? Alright, so Gloom, I can either use like a leaf stone or I could use like a sunstone, basically. I don't like Violet Plume that much because I just don't like the poison typing on Violet Plume. Not a fan of that. Forget where the here it is. Yeah, probably like not gonna keep the Gloom on the team permanently. But I don't know when I'm gonna find like another good Pokemon to use though. Oh, not that one. Where's my stones? Where's my stones? That's all the X items. That's all the EV items. That's also for EV training. Ice Punch. I guess I have the money for this. I'm not a fan of like Facade or U-turn though. What the? Did I pass it? I'm pretty sure this is where I buy my stones from. I just didn't talk to the right NPC, I guess. It's gotta be here. Gotta be in this. Unless I'm like misremembering it. But I could have sworn like I bought stones here. No stones? Load up on quick balls again. Like I now have like enough money where like I could probably just keep buying quick balls. Well, I guess not. I guess not here. I thought there were stones here. Oh, you do get a stone. It's a random. It's a random stone, though. I mean, yeah, I'll buy it, I guess. Waterstone. You get 1 stone a day. Oh, that was disappointing. Yeah, because I was just gonna evolve Gloom right away. Because, like, it's better than having, like, a Stage 2 Pokemon. What item do you have? Oh, you have a King's Rock. Alright. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut off the stream here. I do have, like, work early in the morning. So, gonna have to cut it off here, but we'll reconvene back here again on Saturday. Reminder that Tuesday will be the Halloween stream, so Tuesday is not gonna be a Pokemon thing. Tuesday is gonna be the Heart Monitor stream. So tomorrow we'll do more Pokemon Opalo, and then Tuesday Halloween. Tuesday Halloween stream. So I'm gonna go grab something to eat. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, for the Friday stream. I'll see y'all.